Have you ever wanted to experience everything Animal Crossing New Horizons has to offer, but you wanted to do it in the most weirdly specific way possible and also do it in a month and a half? Well, I have. And I did. This is a year in the life of Animal Crossing, my Forever Island Speedrun Challenge. Hey, I'm Ktabulous. I'm a cosplayer, Twitch streamer, weird aunt, esoteric media lover, social studies nerd, and purveyor of chill. This is my island honey cake, and this is part 2 of my Year in the Life challenge. I want to say a big thank you for all the love that was shown for part 1. So many of you told me about the great things you were doing on your own island while watching my video, and I hope I can bring you more of those same chill vibes. If you're new to the challenge, I highly recommend you check out part 1, but here are the rules of the challenge as a refresher. I started my island at the beginning of December 2025 IRL, but set my Switch clock to January 1st, 2025, with the goal of manipulating time travel to play through all 365 days of the year under a time crunch. The goal is to experience and balance all the different layers of Animal Crossing and craft my Forever Island. This includes friendship with my villagers, decorating my island, catching the critters, creating a cohesive storyline, filling the catalog with furniture and recipes, and chasing as many of the in-game achievements as possible. For the first in-game week, I gave myself no limits on time played per day, but that quickly changes when the challenge kicks into high gear. I allowed myself 1 Treasure Island visit per in-game month, with bonus visits earned for completing Nook Mile categories that have 3 stamps or more. This allowed me the support of getting resources to get enough of a cushion to have comfortable fun, but not so much cushion that I wasn't incentivized to experience all the elements of the gameplay. I wasn't allowed to place furniture without it making some kind of story sense, to prevent rushing to the 3-star island checkpoint. I have to participate in all holidays and special events, and all of this under the constraint that any in-game day can't be longer than an hour, and a minimum requirement of at least 20 minutes. The end result was experiencing Animal Crossing in a whole new and exciting way, and I'm so happy to share part 2 with you all and show you how it all turned out. So, let's play. Day 182 is July 1st, so we are officially beginning the second half of the challenge. Today is a Tuesday, my day for focusing on plant-related activities, so why not dress up like a juicy summer strawberry? Before I dive into my daily focus, I check in with Olive, who is giving us summer queen energy as she sips her fresh orange smoothie in the shade of a cedar, and commission my latest butterfly model from our visitor Flick. At this point, I'm just a few butterflies away from having a model of each type. My plant priority today is to harvest all of the fruit from my orchards, which have grown pretty expansive at this point in pursuit of the Pick of the Bunch Nook Miles achievement. I still need to sell about 2,000 fruits to close out this achievement. I turn over my haul to the boys at Nook's Cranny, get stopped by our good boy Sparrow with a surprise gift, and then head back to the orchard to chop some wood. Another achievement I've still got a lot of work to put towards. My next big move is to expand the orchard even more by planting the peaches I got from a Treasure Island run. This also means I need to dig up my gyroid farm to make room for all of the new fruit trees. And I've completed the Nook Mile achievement category for fruit roots, meaning I've now planted every type of fruit in the game. I finish out the day by adding some more wooden in-game pathing to give the orchard some visual cohesion, and adding my strategic flowers so that when I shake the trees, my fruit falls in a nice neat row for harvesting. I'm definitely liking the way this upper level of the island is coming into fruition. I promise that wasn't an on-purpose pun, but we're definitely gonna roll with it. Day 183 is a Wednesday, which means our daily focus is all about island decorating. The most central part of the island is pretty solidly decorated at this point, although I realize this construction site has been sitting here across from Nook's Cranny for a couple of months at this point. I'm sure I'll have some inspiration for this spot. Any day now. Until that inspiration hits, I'm more interested in adding some details to the middle section of the island to make it feel a little more lived in. I need to move this monstrosity of a butterfly model somewhere a little more palatable, and make some little tweaks to this decorative transition area that I think will look more scenic from across the bridge. I've clocked a couple thousand hours in this game overall, but I think I'm finally starting to think more big picture when it comes to decorating, and considering different set pieces and the way they look from multiple angles on the island. The time constraint means I can't obsess over decorating for hours-long builds, but setting aside a decorating day gives me space to experiment with gradual and simple touches that slowly bring the island to life. After creating some space filler for the area across from my market, I experiment with minor touches to clean up and beautify my second-tier orchard. Although, there's still this open space here that I'm not quite sure what to do with. I just add a few more little details to make the area feel like more than just trees and flowers, and I'm pretty happy with this gradual progress. I pause my decorating to help out Gulliver in retrieving his communicator parts, and then I briefly get sidetracked because Kyle wants me to hang out at his place. So this is how the cool guys live. By the time I get back around to finishing Gulliver's quest, another day has ended. Day 184 brings Thursday, July 3rd, and Thursdays are all about critter catching. The summer months have a whole lot of bugs that emerge to catalog in the Critterpedia, so the island loop I've established is going to get put to work as I methodically wander along and check the tree trunks for the various beetles and cicadas that spawn on the tree trunks. At this halfway point of the challenge, I am most proud of creating an island layout that feels simultaneously functional, efficient, and still aesthetically pleasing. It's easy for me to collect fossils and check for bugs as I saunter along my route. I add a solid handful of new creatures to my Critterpedia, and then I have to stop to craft a fresh round of tools to keep up with the critter catching. Next I move on to fishing, securing the sunfish, the pufferfish, and the whale shark for my collection. I turn over a fresh stack of donations for the museum, and clear out all my fossils from storage for another round of assessments. The fossil section of my museum is completed, but there's still a total of 500 fossils we need to assess for one of the Nook Mile achievements. The Critterpedia is looking considerably more full these days, but there's still a lot of hunting to do. Day 185 is the 4th of July, but it looks like we'll be having lightning and thunder in place of fireworks. Fridays are dedicated to friendship and touching base with all of my villagers, so let's check in on our babies. Bo is a real chatterbox tonight. He wants to catch us up on all of his shows, which I totally get. Butch is impressed that we braved the thunderstorm to bring him his Friday gift. New girl Plucky gives us some sisterly wisdom about gardening. And our dear Olive invites herself over to escape the miserable weather. I show her the playroom and she makes herself right at home at the sewing machine, which is all I've ever wanted. I catch Eunice and Kat braving their walks in the storm, see Kyle and Julia hanging out at their homes, and catch Felicity chasing trends at the shop. I know that Celeste would never show up in this weather, but I still hunt around the island just in case Wisp has appeared. And stop by Red's boat to see if he brought us any fresh and genuine works of art. Finally, I make my stop at the airport to write a round of postcards to all the residents to make some progress in the popular Pen Pal Nook Achievement category. I try to put a little more effort and personal touch on this round, letting each villager know what it is about them that they bring to the island. I'm speedrunning, yes, but I also want to maintain an element of intentionality and storytelling in everything I do, so that it never just feels like soullessly checking off a box. Day 186 is another Saturday, and the thunderstorm has decrescendoed into a light summer rain. We kick off the evening with our customary KK Slider concert, and then move on to the daily focus of interior decorating. It's high time that I get rid of the random Bunny Day room I created in a desperate attempt to impress HHA. And now that I finally have the desk item I wanted, I'm going to turn this side room into an office space. As the resident representative, I feel like it's important that I have a designated room where I can focus on all the paperwork and meetings it takes to keep this island afloat. This will be a fitting place to put all of my museum plaques on display from the May Museum Stamp Rally, and I thought it would be cute to include the photos from all the villagers who have moved away. I did go ahead and secure Renee, Octavian, Rasher, and Static's photos from one of my many Treasure Island runs, because even though I never earned them, I still want to remember those guys. We've got our phone for our business calls, a safe for our business documents, a stereo because I personally love to have music when I work, an incredibly necessary espresso machine, some island life 101 brochures, a treadmill to get our steps in, as if we don't already get that running around the island every day, and just some aesthetic touches to make any visitors during office hours feel welcome. This new build also successfully completes the Hoard reward achievement in our Nook Miles app. I spend the extra time I have squeezing in another fruit harvest for pick of the bunch, and planting even more coconut trees for summer bug spawns, because I am a resident rep that plans ahead, y'all. Day 187 is a Sunday, which is normally my wildcard day, but this week I want to try something totally different than my tried and true routine. Knowing where I'm at in my achievement progress at this halfway point of the challenge, I know there are certain categories where I really need to lock in. So I've come up with a series of theme weeks to keep things interesting but still goal-oriented. This week's theme is Adventure Week. First, I touch base with Daisy May to buy some turnips, an adventure in and of itself because the turnip market makes me nervous. And then I head straight to Captain to take a boat tour. This week I'll be taking one boat tour and one Nook Miles mystery tour each day, in the spirit of adventure. I need to take a certain number of boat tours for the Set Sail for Adventure Nook achievement, and I'm also going to take advantage of these islands for other achievement progress. I collect weeds for the Greedy Weeder achievement, catch bugs and fish for their respective achievements, and of course continue chopping wood for the Rough Hewn achievement. I'm also going to make a conscious effort to get the Hidden Nook achievement Rock Splitting Champ, which involves successfully getting the full 8 resources from hitting a rock. I'm totally aware that this is a thing and that people recommend digging holes and using a shovel instead of an axe to eliminate the knockback that happens when you hit a rock. But being aware of something and actually executing it are two different things. I've tried this a few times in my own rock garden, but I can honestly say I've never successfully done it. Not even on any of my other islands. And yeah, it was a little discouraging. When I return from the boat tour, I make a brief detour to pick up this lost item and return it to its owner, since the Smile Isle achievement has me perpetually mindful of completing villager quests. And then it's off to the airport to go on a Nook Miles ticket mystery tour. I get to work catching critters and harvesting resources, and trying again for my rock achievement. I've been burned a few times at this point, but then, finally, it happens. Achievement unlocked. Day 188 is Monday and Adventure Week continues. On my way to Captain's Pier, I spot the iconic adventurer himself, so I make a quick detour to collect Gullivar's communicator, and then I proceed on my boat tour. I get my weeds and chop my wood, and pick up a new cooking recipe from the beach bottle. When I hunt for critters, I end up catching trash that unlocks some new recipes. On my Mystery Island tour, I get a rainy fruit island that will surely help my pick of the bunch progress. After I harvest all the tree resources, I turn to collecting critters, finally catching the Arapaima fish from the river, and collecting a new species of bug that ticked off another Nook Milestone. Day 189, I step into Adventure Week with an excuse to wear the opulent pirate robe Gullivar gifted me. You know, arg and such. I hit the high seas with Captain once again, and we get a 2.0 island. I harvest the resources, catch as many critters as I can, and learn a new glowing moss DIY recipe. Then I hit up my Nook Miles mystery tour for plenty of weeds and wood and failed critter cataloging. And back home on Honeycake, I check in with my Sweetie Pie Olive and sell my bugs to Flick. Day 190, I'm harnessing my sailor vibes for day 4 of Adventure Week. First, I stop by Plucky's house to shower a little more affection on our newest resident. And then I spot Cat and Sparrow being besties, and it completely melts my heart. Then it's off to hit the high seas with Captain and fly Soaring Pansy with Wilbur, harvesting both islands of as many weeds, wood, fruit, and critters that I can. On day 191, I take some more time to gift Plucky again, and I have to hit up my workbench to craft a new round of tools after all the ones I've burned through in Adventure Week. I take my usual boat tour, kinda disappointed I still haven't hit a rare island yet, but I get back to work gathering all of my resources. And I even get a message bottle DIY with a recipe I haven't learned yet, so that's exciting. At this point I'm getting a lot of repeats. For my Mystery Island tour, I shake things up a bit and time travel to the evening to take my shot at catching some of the many tree trunk spawning bugs that appear at night during the summer months. And after some hesitation, I go ahead and commit to the most effective method of doing this, which is to commit to picking all the flowers, cutting all the trees, and shoveling up all the stumps. What this does is reduce the pool of possible bugs that can spawn by eliminating the conditions under which certain bugs spawn. Just a little RNG manipulation. Doing this does also require scaring away or catching other bugs that still come out to increase the chances of getting one of the rarer bugs to spawn. And here I'm hoping to catch the ones on palm tree trunks specifically. I add the Scara beetle and the giant beetle to my Critterpedia, and I get lucky enough to get the very rare Goliath beetle to spawn. But I flubbed the catch and he got away. I continue this pattern of chasing away common bugs and alternating checking each palm tree, get taken down by a scorpion, and keep checking trees until my time runs out for the day. Progress is progress, even if it's piecemeal, and my Critterpedia is looking just a little more complete. Back on my island, I headed to my storage shed to empty my very full pockets, and I spotted my nemesis, the scorpion, again, threatening innocent Eunice. And finally, very slowly, after many failed attempts in the past, I catch my first scorpion to add to the Critterpedia. Day 192 is the last day of Adventure Week, and I'm suited up for a late-night excursion. There's still a lot of bugs to catch this summer, so I take my boat tour and my Nook Miles flight late at night to increase the chances of seeing some of the ones I'm missing. On Captain's Island, I limit myself to just collecting weeds and getting the message bottle, because I want to give myself plenty of time on the Nook Miles Ticket Island to hunt for bugs. I go ahead and clear all the flowers and trees from the entire island again, go through the pattern of chasing away bugs I don't need and checking the palm trees. I managed to add 2 new bugs to my collection, and when I head back home to my island, I make a run to the museum to donate our latest stack of critters. I also feel like I can treat myself to a midnight coffee after such a busy week, and I'm so glad I did, because none other than my bestie baby girl Sahara is hanging out at the roost tonight. Too cute. Day 193 is a sunny Saturday, and it's time for our summer fishing tournament. Sparrow is obviously hanging out right in front of my house today. We already know how competitive he gets on tournament days. I check in with all the villagers I see as I head into town, and as usual, they all have very cute things to say as the tourney hype takes over the island. I pop into Nook's Cranny to sell my turnips. Adventure Week definitely took over my brain, and I kind of forgot about checking prices. So I'm selling them at a bit of a loss, but it's better than eating the entire cost and letting them rot. Then I have to swing by Olive's house because it's her birthday today. Just look at how absolutely precious she is. Then it's time to lock in for the fishing tournament. I thought it would be cute to fish in my usual spot next to my buddies, but they are actually kind of in my way, so I pick out a secluded, shady spot by the rock garden. I even managed to catch a new fish, so I make sure to snag that out of the fish cooler before I sell the rest of my catches to CJ. For round 2, I went to a different river spot to catch my fish, and this time Kyle had already claimed the spot I wanted. So here I am, standing in the potato field like a fool catching my fish. After completing a 3rd round, I felt pretty satisfied with my prize collection, so I used the little sliver of time that remained to take a quick boat tour with Captain. After I chop wood and scoop up resources, I take some time to go through the Nook Miles app to check in with my progress on certain achievements that are in the forefront of my mind. Adventure Week did me really solid in making progress with my total critters caught. Some incremental progress on chopping wood, and I definitely trashed quite a few tools along the way. I also managed to sell a lot of weeds for Greedy Weeder, and a solid amount of fruit from the Mystery Islands for Pick of the Bunch. But now it's time to move on to a new week. Day 194 is Sunday, and we're going wildcard again. What says July vibes more than a hot dog? And I'm not just a regular hot dog, I'm a cool hot dog. Insane lore drop at Nook's Cranny today. Felicity is in fact a bodega cat. More gifties for Plucky because we want to get her friendship level up, and Butch has been DIYing so hard that his back is acting up, which I totally feel that, man. I find Daisy May to buy some turnips, and I'm going to be intentional this week. I've got to remember to check the prices and maximize my profits for the Nook achievement. I've been away from the island a lot this past week, so I tend to some weeding and fruit harvesting and digging up fossils. I also head to the airport and decide that to infuse a little more joy and a little less tedium into my pen pal achievement, I can try to send some longer messages to my villagers and only do 1 or 2 a day, instead of knocking out all 10 at once a week. Sparrow has seriously been concerning me with how often he's been rocking that vampire costume, and I'm starting to think that he thinks he really is a vampire. So as the resident rep, it's my duty to check in with him and keep it oh so very real. I also pop by Happy Home Paradise since it's been a while, as Nico calls out immediately, and pause for cuteness appreciation because Chester is just chilling in his floaty, living his best life. I love him. I hit up the Pokey ABD to exchange some bells for Pokey. I haven't really earned any in a while, and I like to have plenty on hand if I need to pick up items. So I exchange the max amount that I'm allowed for the day. Next, I talk to Lottie about refurbishing our next facility, and now the Hospital Ouchies is open for business. And our resident physician Benjamin is not afraid to get up close and personal with the patients. After I collect my paycheck, I head over to Wardell to place some orders and get a few new furniture items for my catalog. I return home to end the day by going to KK Slider's concert. Just me, a solitary cool hot dog, enjoying the show. Day 195 kicks off Monday of a new week, and we're doing another theme. Truly embracing the summer vibes, this week is Beach Week. First, I have to check the turnip prices at Nook's Cranny to get a baseline for how the prices might fluctuate this week. We've got a campsite villager today, so we'll just check that out. And yeah, so anyway, my intention for this week is to spend as much time as possible on the beach to soak up those summer rays. I'm putting the work in here for several overlapping achievements, like selling seashells, digging up clams, catching sea creatures, and securing visits from Pascal. Which, by the way, Pascal is literally me, if you even care. I spot Julia contemplating moving away, and while she is very dear to me, I do think she's another one that I'm ready to let go of. The only thing I'm worried about is Bo, of course. She's been like a big sister to him, so I'll have to break the news to him very gently. For today's letter, it's obvious I have to send a heartfelt goodbye to our girl Julia, who's been here since Festival. And I go ahead and send another strongly worded warning to Sparrow since I caught him snoozing in his vampire outfit today on a park bench. Then I craft all my clams into fish bait and check in with the turnip prices once more before the day ends. Day 196 is the second day of Beach Week, and I'm living for the summer vibes. And what do we have here? Look who's still dressed like a vampire. Okay, Sparrow. Okay. Plucky obviously needs another gift. I check in with Flick, and I check the turnip prices. Nook Shopping has the absolute perfect item for our theme this week, and with those casual daily tasks out of the way, it's time to hit those beaches. In addition to digging for clams and collecting seashells, I'm also chopping my palm trees for wood and fruit to sell, and catching the occasional sea fish that crosses my path. I make sure to say goodbye to Julia before she moves away, and her parting words have me feeling a little emotional. She is completely unbothered by my tears though, so I think she's gonna be alright out there in the world. Then it's time to take a dip in the ocean for some critter catching. I look pretty adorable, completely obscured by my big floppy sun hat. I find one little guy who's moving pretty fast, so I know it's something new and exciting. And by capturing the giant isopod, I tick off another milestone for underwater understudy. I keep swimming for creatures until we get our Pascal cameo, and when I get back on shore, Kat waylays us for a quick home visit. I end the day by sending a few more postcards, and I'm really into the storytelling at this point, so the postcards have been a good way to lean into that. I know Kat is besties with Sparrow, so I appeal to her to talk to him about his vampire phase. For the record, I'm fully aware that I can talk to Isabel about his outfit, but at this point the lore is just too entertaining to me. And I write a condolence letter to Bo since I know he's going to be a little torn up that this is Julia's last day on the island. Day 197 is hump day for Beach Week, and Isabel announces a meteor shower for tonight. I'm keeping with the beach outfit theme as I tackle my dailies. I check in with the turnip prices, which are still dropping, so there's no spike yet. I agree to let Felicity come over to my house, and I decide to invite her into my office since a big inspiration for this build was the idea that I could meet with villagers to discuss island issues as the resident rep. She seems pretty impressed with my setup, so I'm pleased with that. Plucky teaches me one of her cooking recipes, and I thank her by giving her another gift. And then it's time to get back to my beach combing routine. Julia is fully moved out by today, but there's just too much else going on for me to spend any time today on a villager hunt. So I use my July Treasure Island allotment to order a snooty villager to replace her. I've always wanted Pearl on an island. Calicos are my favorite kind of cat, and I think she's so cute. So I order her specifically and invite her to the island. Then I time travel to the evening hours to catch some shooting stars in the meteor shower. I couldn't find Celeste anywhere, so I figure I should go ahead and clean up the weeds on the stargazing cliff, in case she was, offended by them. I do my sea creature hunting under the night sky, and even though I ran out of time to summon Pascal, I did manage to complete the Nook Miles category Wishes Come True. Day 198 continues Beach Week with another fresh nautical look. I'm loving the look of our newest villager's house, and I pop in to give a warm honey cake welcome to the cutie pie Pearl. The turnip prices haven't spiked yet on my morning check, so I head to the beaches to collect all of my star fragments from the meteor shower, in addition to the usual seashells and manila clams. I try and fail to get Plucky to get up from her comfy resting place to give her a gift, but I do get this hilarious dialogue about how she's getting her daily dose of pipe. I find our favorite unhinged birdie passed out on the beach, and I think it's really sweet that Eunice is embracing the beach vibes today too. After we dig up all of Gulliver's communicator pieces, we are rewarded with another milestone for Gulliver's travails. I time travel to the evening for my sea creature diving to hone in on a few of the night critters, and secure another visit from Pascal. The price of turnips has spiked by now, so I go ahead and sell off what I have, since this week is nearly done. I'm definitely making some incremental progress in the cornering the stock market achievement, but for the future I'm really gonna have to commit and get serious if I want to hit the next milestone. Felicity wants to come visit again already, so I decide to show off my updated bedroom since she hasn't seen it yet. It's the first time I've seen it in a while too, and I'm still pretty pleased with the look of it, so that's nice. I run into Wisp hanging out in the market, so I return all of his spirit pieces. Kyle wants me to make peace over a prank war he got into with Eunice, but I am shocked by the shade of his apology gift. Eunice looks very cute in the frugal dress, to be fair, and she seems happy with the apology, but I feel like this has to be another prank. This is savage work, Kyle. Day 199 is Friday, and Beach Week is still going strong. Pearl has finished unpacking, and her house is very classy. I hope she's settling in nicely. I give a gift to Plucky and then hit the beaches. It's worth noting, at this point I've gone on a pretty intense journey, crunching over 200 hours of gameplay in about 30 IRL days. It's been an exciting and intriguing mental exercise as I experience the game in this way, unfolding the passage of time and navigating the game mechanics in such a condensed format, and striving all the while to achieve that perfect balance where I am challenged, but I never want to burn out or lose sight of relishing and joy. The theme weeks have already proven to be exactly the shakeup I needed to grind at those achievements while still feeling anchored in storytelling and whimsy. Then I do my diving for the day and get the mermaid shelf recipe from Pascal. Day 200 of the challenge has arrived, and it looks like it's raining on our last day of Beach Week. But we all know that won't slow me down. I chop more wood and fruit, dig up more clams, collect more shells, take in a splash of fishing, and take some time to appreciate our new girl Pearl already making herself at home and enjoying the island. I time travel to the evening for my deep dive, and once we get to see Pascal, I cap off the day with a KK Slider concert. Day 201 is another Wildcard Sunday. What says summer vibes more than baseball? I think at least. I actually have no idea what baseball season is. Baseball is very boring to me. But the outfit is also a little hint of the theme week I've got in mind come Monday. On the island, I touch base with Daisy May to buy another round of 900 turnips, craft all the clams from Beach Week into fish bait, and harvest all of the fruit trees. Then I take a boat tour with Captain, and I get a shooting star island. I'm pretty excited about this one. Next, I head to the airport to send some more villager postcards. I check in with Beau to make sure he's holding up okay since Julia's departure, and send some encouraging words to Plucky because I'm really loving how much we're clicking together. Then I head to Harv's Island where Red finally has some new and true art for me to buy. Next, I make a stop at HHP, and the company store is literally in tune with my outfit today. I pick up Kid as a client and design him a simple and chic photography studio. He's low-key coming for Harvey's job. Finally, we end the day with another heart-to-heart with Wardell on the wonder of sound. Day 202 is another Monday, and we've got a fresh theme for the week. This week is going to be Fitness Week, and we'll get into what that really means in just a moment. But first, some dailies to tackle. I'm thrilled Nook's Cranny got the message about Fitness Week, stocking the ball catcher item in the shop. Of course, we have to check the turnip prices, and I'm shook because the Monday morning prices are already 50 bells higher than what I bought them for. Rather than wait it out and keep my fingers crossed for a spike, I go ahead and sell my stock of turnips for more piecemeal progress in the Nook Mile achievement. Next, I pop into Abel's shop, and they are also on board with the theme week, it seems, so I've clearly got to pick up this muscle shirt. The goal for this week is to make progress towards my come home to the roost and stretch to refresh achievements simultaneously. So we'll start each day with an energizing cup of coffee at Brewster's Roost and then head to the plaza for some group stretching. There's a light drizzle today, but who can even tell when we're feeling the burn? Beyond those two daily requirements, I'm not tying myself to anything too specific, just tackling whatever I see around the island that looks like it needs tending to. I help out our pirate friend with his communicator, catch some bugs for Nook Miles points, and why not chop some wood, eh? When am I not chopping wood in this challenge? I also make a run to Harv's Island because it's kind of hard for me to shake that Monday ritual at this point. Day 203 is Tuesday in our fitness week. We grab our cup of coffee alongside our dear pal Wilbur, another character I really want to cosplay sometime, and then hit the plaza for our community workout. The weather is really lovely today, so I decide to do some gardening and clean up the overgrowth in the rock garden. I also do some rock hitting for the Nook Miles, but also for that sweet cardio. I collect some more seashells and clams from the beaches, and eventually I run into Butch, who wants to give a present to Olive but is too nervous. I hope he's not crushing on her because I'm pretty sure there's something brewing between her and Kyle, but don't even worry about me, I'm just minding my business. I deliver the gift, and it's a striped halter dress, which it looks very good on her, but damn Butch, that's a very forward gift to give a lady. I also pop into Eunice's house, and she's going off about how much she loves the frugal dress that Kyle gifted her, and fine. If you like it, that's awesome. Maybe Kyle really knows her like that. But knowing him, I still think he was trolling. And Sparrow is doing the vampire thing again. Baby, what are you doing? Lastly, Red is visiting the island, so I check out what he's brought for us. Day 204, and I'm rocking a little cyclist outfit for our fitness week, which is great because the villagers always gift me this kind of stuff and I never have an excuse to wear it. At our daily coffee stop, Tom Nook makes a celebrity appearance, and I drop off some fossils with Blathers for assessment while I'm here. We get to do our group stretches with today's island visitor Flick, which is a fun little treat. And after the session, Kat wants to come over to my house to escape her embarrassing thoughts. And this is obviously the time. I need to sit her down in the office so we can have a serious heart-to-heart. And I won't tell you what her embarrassing thoughts were because that's confidential, but let's just say her Best of Sparrow's vampire session has definitely been affecting our poor girl. I hit up the rock garden for some more cardio gains, craft a few new DIY items, and spend some time catching bugs to sell to Flick. Day 205, and we're still on our fitness grind. I'm really loving this excuse to wear all the sporty clothing items. It has crossed my mind that it might be a fun challenge to create an all-jock island someday. embracing items that I don't normally give much attention to. Thank you for the pigeon milk, Brewster. We're gonna need the protein. Would you like to work out with us today? He does! Look at Brewster, getting his pump on. I spot a vampire doing some shopping, and Pearl gifts us a soccer uniform top because she clearly got the Fitness Week assignment. With our daily coffee and workout finished, I'm dedicating the rest of my time today to adding some more decor and personality to my villager yards, starting with the resident jock. I also want to give some love and care to personalizing Plucky's yard, because she's quickly becoming one of my favorites and she deserves it. After I clear away all the holdovers from Peanut's garden, I get to work creating a homey, rustic farm vibe to match Plucky's olive green house. And yes, she will have chickens. She will be a chicken with chickens. It's hilarious. Next, I move on to Butch's yard. I gave him a scooter and some tools to start, but now I'm gonna fully embrace the motorway vibes of his house and give him a proper mechanic setup for engine repairs. I like to think of Butch as a guy who was wild in his youth, out on the open road with his motorcycle gang, but now he's moved to Honeycake to retire and live the simple life. I have a little time left to do some cooking for Nook Miles plus points at the end of the day, and we add a hot apple pie to Eunice's yard decor. Day 206 is Friday, July 25th, almost done with Fitness Week and July. I say hello to Plucky, and she gives us some positive mindfulness to start the day. Brewster's coffee is hot, hot, hot today, and I hit another milestone for Come Home to the Roost. Now we're ready to knock out that group stretching session, and that gives us our stretch to refresh milestone. Decorating and personalizing the villager yards yesterday gave me a lot of joy, so I'm going to continue that work today, starting with cleaning up the overgrown yard that Julia left behind for Pearl. Investing in the decorating and storytelling and villager love is a really interesting and important part of this playthrough for me. It is a speedrun in many ways, but it's not about emotionless min-maxing. Efficiency is always on my mind, but there are also so many elements of the game I want to honor and experience that can't be quantified with in-game achievements. So turning this week into Fitness Week has definitely been a fun way for me to transform the Stretch to Refresh achievement from simply ticking off a box into a story-driven quest, and it's made me enjoy it so much more. One of my favorite Stardew Valley challenge runners, Argon Matrix, has a word for this in his community. He calls it fun maxing. And I think that's a great mentality to bring to any challenge run, to breathe a little life and unpredictability into it. I do make time for a little bit of fruit harvesting and wood chopping, of course, because achievements. Day 206 is Friday, July 25th, almost done with Fitness Week. Wait a minute, what? Yeah, so apparently what had happened was, I didn't notice until editing that I made my third time travel mistake of the playthrough, and apparently restarted July 25th without even realizing it. So apparently I just played through another entire Friday. But I'm not mad about it because it actually retroactively fixes my mistake in part 1, where I time traveled 2 days forward and completely missed January 17th. So at least now I know when the challenge is done, I will have in fact completed 365 separate days. I get to start out this day with a weightlifting warm-up using the barbell that Nook Inc. sent me in the mail for my stretch achievement. It's so cute, I love it. I run into Sahara on my way to the Roost, so I pause for a bit of shopping. I pound my cup of coffee and Brewster stops me on my way out to give me another reward for our progress. Then I hit the plaza for another invigorating stretch session with the community. We get to stretch with Sahara today, very, very adorable. I make trades with Sparrow, do rock garden cardio, craft some new tools to stay stocked up, spend some time on the beach, and cap off the day with Pearl gifting me a meme shirt. She acts prim and proper, but this girl has a twisted sense of humor, deep down. Day 207 closes out Fitness Week with our beloved Bug Off event. I still have my coffee with Brewster and do our group stretching, and of course I always like to check in and chat with the villagers on tournament day. Pearl and Eunice have an unexpected competitive side. Butch is certifiably adorable. Sparrow is being Sparrow. Good God, my guy. And I'm completely fascinated by Plucky spilling lore from her past about staying out all night catching bugs with her friends. She a little freak, and I like it. Then it's time to participate in our second bug off of the year. I compete in 3 rounds, collect my prizes from Flick, and collect my Nook Miles from our latest milestone. Day 208 is Wildcard Sunday, a day for anything goes and resetting for a new week. We're going for groovy 70s disco energy today. I hit up Daisy May to buy a round of turnips, which, by the way, Daisy May is literally me, if you even care. Then I head to the airport to catch up on my correspondence. It's been a minute since I've written any postcards to villagers. Obviously, I have to touch base with Sparrow about how concerned Cat and I have become about his vampire obsession. And I reassure Cat that we're going to get through to him eventually. Based on what Plucky told me during the bug off, I encourage her to spend time with our lazy bug-loving beau. I know he's probably still missing his big sis Julia, so I encourage him to give Plucky a chance too. Lastly, I send Butch a painfully dated meme, but it's all good. He's old. He'll get where I'm coming from. Then I go to Happy Home Paradise to put in a shift, and I design a high-tech superhero hideout for Mira. I love that she yells into the fan here. I feel like we've all done that at some point. Back at the office, Nico reports that he's making progress on setting up a music venue for a special event. And before I leave, I hit up the Cafe Bean to pick up some food items for my catalog. Vesta's obviously getting a 5-star review on Yelp. Then it's back home to Honeycake to catch the KK Slider concert, and I obviously have to request KK Disco to match my wildcard outfit of the day. Day 209, Isabel reminds us in the daily announcements that July is almost over, and soon we'll have Sunday fireworks in August. It's a Monday, so we're kicking off a new theme week. This week will be Culture Week, and there's a few objectives that will be folded into that. Firstly, I'll be looping the island each day to dig up all of our fossils in pursuit of the Fossil Assessment Nook Mile achievement. And while I do that, we can enjoy a mini lesson about the cultural garment I'm wearing for the day. I think it's so cool the game includes traditional clothing from so many parts of the world, and this week has given me a reason to wear them and learn more about them. I love any excuse to ask historical questions and do extra research. Today we're wearing the China Poblana, a traditional Mexican garment that embodies the tense intersection of Mexico's indigenous and colonial histories. The dress is anchored in this mythology of an Indian princess, misidentified as Chinese, who was kidnapped and baptized by Spanish conquistadors and anointed to sainthood. But this mythology obscures the reality. Attributing the bright colors and ornate embroidery to Asian origins may in fact just be the colonizers' misinterpretation of what was in fact just indigenous artistry. According to one source, the term China comes from an indigenous Quechan word meaning woman, that after colonization came to mean servant or lower-class woman. Poblana means of Pueblo, the historic site where Mexico won its second independence against the French in 1810. The dress has been associated with working-class femininity and carries a lot of complex layers of class and gender identity, and has become popularized today around the world as a traditional symbol of Mexican nationality. The fact that historians have so heavily debated and outsiders have so widely misunderstood the true origins and influence of the dress's design really speaks to the cultural intersection and colonial struggle that embodies Mexico's history. It's kind of crazy what a fascinating rabbit hole of historical sources I went down that just started with a Google search of China Poblana. And I'm here for that kind of self-guided learning. After my fossil excursion, the ever-needy Eunice invites herself over to my place for a little company. And I'm deeply pleased that she wants to sit down and do a little sewing with me. It's remarkable the amount of joy you can get from a villager actually sitting down where you want them to sit. Next, I head to the airport and send out some postcards. I want to hype Eunice up because she always seems so unsure of herself. And of course, I have to send Sparrow a warning. The vampire intervention is coming soon. From there, I catch a flight to Harv's Island for the third objective of Culture Week, which is to check Reds every day and try to expand the art section of our museum. He only has fake art on offer today, But I'm gonna go ahead and purchase one of the fakes and check again tomorrow to see if he'll restock with something new and authentic. I hop over to Happy Home Paradise next. I'm extremely thrilled by this cute tableau of our clients dancing and soaking up the sun and living their best vacation lives. And I'm glad I remembered to take the time to stop and appreciate all the life that's happening here. I pop into the hospital, and for the first time ever in nearly 2,000 hours I've played of Animal Crossing, I chat with Joan during her Monday checkup and get her free turnips. I don't have time to take on a client today, but I will go ahead and peek at the company store to pick up some new furniture items for the catalog. I head back home to take a tour with Captain, which unlocks another milestone in Set Sail for Adventure. Day 210, we continue Culture Week by donning the ao dai, the national dress of Vietnam. First and foremost, I dash straight to Nook's Cranny to check the turnip prices. Then I casually gift Butch when I see him in the plaza, and he surprises me with his photo. Straight into the yard it goes. I'm so proud. Now it's time to look for fossils and indulge in our culture lesson of the day. The ao dai's origins come from the Nguyen dynasty in the 18th century, when the Kingdom of Vietnam was divided into northern and southern provinces, and those in the south were asked to wear a specific style of dress to distinguish them from northerners. I decide to shake the trees and harvest fruit along my route, just to dovetail some useful tasks. The ao dai has undergone many changes as Vietnam has changed, including European influence in the 20th century under French colonialism, and being relegated to more formal occasions only after the communist rule of Ho Chi Minh demanded that citizens dress in ways more practical for work. Today, the ao dai is a symbol of Vietnamese nationalism worn for special occasions and important fashion moments. And I think it's really cool how these traditions endure even after hundreds of years of regime changes and outside influences. I sell my fruit haul to Timmy and Tommy, along with my free turnips from Joan. Since they're free, I figure any price is profit, right? I spot Sparrow at Abel's checking out a new outfit, which gives me hope his vampire fad might be dwindling down. I take some time to visit the newest villager, Pearl, and give her a gift. And then Kyle wants to hang out at the Casa Tabulous, so I invite him into my office and chew the fat about his experiences here on Honeycake. I end the day with a visit to Harv's Island, where I buy another piece of fake art in hopes of getting a better restock for tomorrow. Day 211 is the midpoint of Culture Week, and we're wearing the Shima Jigori. I hit up Nook's Cranny first to check the turnip prices, and there's a notable spike, but I think I can hold out for even more. Then it's time for our fossil hunting. Let's talk about the Shima Jigori, the female hanbok, or traditional Korean clothing. Hanbok literally meaning clothes of Korea. Shima, the skirt, wraps high around the waist and is covered by the Jigori, the jacket. According to one source, the long and full silhouette of the Shima gave women greater freedom of movement with the illusion of floating on air, all while accommodating the multitude of layers that were common for the time. The most interesting thing I learned about the Shima Jigori is how the colors, fabrics, and even length of the skirt for these garments were all indicators of women's places in society. Color could be used to indicate a woman's age or marital status, and length could indicate her class status, with shorter Shimas being short for common working-class women who required more freedom of movement for daily labor. Modern interpretations of hanbok have created Shima Jigoris that subvert expectations surrounding color, length, and construction, and hanbok has extended far beyond Korea in terms of influence on modern fashion. October 21st has been designated as Hanbok Day in Korea, where idols and fashion enthusiasts celebrate and keep these traditional garments thriving in the public mind. Once the loop is finished, the time is shifted to afternoon, so I check the turnip prices again, and I'm so glad I held out. Now I can sell all of my turnips for 365 bells and check off another milestone for cornering the stock market. I run into Sparrow in the plaza and he asks me for a secret greeting. And while I ponder what to pick, I have a moment of clarity. Sparrow's not delusional, he doesn't need an intervention. He's just a really big Twilight stan. And how can I stand in the way of that? So I give him the special greeting, Spider Monkey, and leave the conversation with a sense of relief. In the spirit of Culture Week, I pay a visit to our museum, and take the time to look at all the artworks I currently have and cross-reference them with the Wikipedia page to make a list in my Notes app of all the art I still need to collect. At this point, I'm still missing 21 pieces of art, which is daunting, but I can't let it get me down. Red is actually visiting our island today, so I check out his boat and he actually has a new piece for us to add to our collection, so that's encouraging. Since I don't need to go to Harv's today, I've got a little spare time, and this feels like an appropriate time to add a little more intention and flair to the little black market area I've built here along Red's beach with the fraudulent art. I try to make the items look a little bit more like they're on display for sale, and add a few more miscellaneous touches to give it an overall market vibe. Day 212 continues Culture Week with the Bakassab robe. Before I can make my fossil-seeking loop, I'm stopped by Kat, who offers me my first ever treasure hunt. So of course I have to accept. This is such a fun and unexpected little activity that your villagers offer. And as I make my circuit around the island, I pick up a few fossils along the way, which is the goal I had for today anyway, so it all shakes out. As we hunt for the rest, let's talk about our outfit today. The Bakassab robe, a garment representing the traditional dress of Central Asia. I remember both in my own education and as a social studies teacher for 10 years that the history and culture of countries like Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and Turkmenistan is rarely covered in world history or world geography classes for American students, so I like to see its representation in the cultural garments in Animal Crossing. The region has a fascinating ancient history with its location in the middle of the Silk Road trade routes that connected East Asia to Western Europe and Northern Africa. Various Greek, Russian, Islamic, Indian, and Chinese empires claimed control of the region throughout the centuries, sprinkling their influence on the culture and fashion. The word Bakassab refers to the fabric used to make these traditional quilted robes, a cotton and silk blend in colorful arrangements and usually striped pattern. After I finish my hunt, I catch a sweet moment between Olive and Pearl, just two sweet girlies getting to know each other better. I catch a few bugs and sell all the others I've accumulated to our visitor of the day, Flick, and then I head to Harv's where I reluctantly buy yet another fake work of art from Red. I soothe my irritation by treating myself to a raffle prize, and now I've got myself a little canned green tea. A consolation prize, at least. Day 213 is the very first day of August, and we're continuing Culture Week with a little after 8 p.m. play. We get our monthly gift from Mom in the mail, and then it's time for our daily fossil loop, and we can talk about our outfit for the day. I've always really liked the look of the Edo period merchant outfit, and I decided to pair it with the samurai wig from Gulliver after doing a little reading. The Edo period in Japan was a period from the 16 to mid-1800s, where instead of being ruled by a traditional emperor, Japan was ruled by a military-led feudal bureaucracy. This era is described as being a peaceful and prosperous time for Japan, with a thriving economy. The samurai became less a class of warriors and more a class of administrators and bureaucrats. Although the era came to a close when Japan was forced to open up trade with the US by Commodore Matthew Perry, and the emperor was restored, the merchant success at the time would lay the foundation for the powerful business class that would continue Japan's economic growth in the 20th century. Pairing the merchant robe and the samurai hair was my attempt to embody the interesting way that power structures shifted in Japan during this time period. I spent some time touching base with the villagers today, reassuring Eunice that glitter drop is a fine thing to say. She needs to be reassured a lot. I catch Olive right before her summer evening jog, and it looks like Butch and Plucky are getting to be good neighbors. Sparrow and Bo are each having a quiet night at home, and Pearl teaches us a new DIY recipe. I run into Wisp taking a stroll, or float, or whatever, down the market streets so I complete his quest, and I fire off a quick postcard at the airport before I head to Harv's Island. It's pretty disappointing, but I've committed at this point, so I buy yet another fake piece of art from Red, and we'll be back again tomorrow. This is literally exactly what he wants. How could you play me like this, cousin? Day 214 is Saturday, and it's our final day of Culture Week. First, we'll take in the weekly KK Slider concert, and then we'll take our island loop. Honeycake looks really beautiful and alive with these summer colors at sunset. So let's find the daily fossils and talk about today's cultural garment. Today we're wearing the kurta, a garment worn most often in the South Asian countries of India, Pakistan, Nepal, and Bangladesh. As a base garment, the kurta is extremely popular for many occasions, both formal and casual, occasionally donned by Westerners as well. But it's worth remembering that South Asia is not a monolith. There are many diverse regions and traditions that all have their own aesthetic variations on the kurta. The garment migrated from Central Asia to South Asia during the 12th century. It was the Persians who introduced stitching, marking a shift from the wrapped garments that were the norm throughout ancient Central and Southern Asia. This is yet another example of a traditional cultural garment that demonstrates how history and cultural amalgamation become infused in the clothes that we wear. As a lover of both garment construction and history, doing these extra bits of research has been one of my favorite parts of Culture Week. So I hope I was able to share some interesting tidbits. There's a campsite villager today, and it's Gaston. I had Gaston on my first island, and at first I didn't really like him, but he totally grew on me, so I would rank him pretty high today. I head to Harv's Island, and finally, after buying so much fake inventory, Red has a statue for sale that I can add to the museum. Glad to have this pay off right at the finish line of Culture Week. Back home, I have one final project for the day, and that's to renovate my basement. I've enjoyed the indoor part, but I finally got the field flooring that I wanted from Sahara, and we're going to transform this space into an open, rustic farm. I want to get a bit more serious about my investments in the turnip market next week, and I want somewhere aesthetic and thematically appropriate to store them all, instead of just dumping them on the ground outside Nook's Cranny. I like the room. I think it's simple but cute. Even if I'm not sure HHA will be impressed, it makes me happy. Day 215 is Wildcard Sunday again, and we're properly into August now. As I suspected, there's no huge change to my HHA score, but oh well. Like most Sundays, I take it easy today, and just focus on miscellaneous tasks. I give a gift to the newest resident Pearl, do some Sunday stretches, harvest the fruit trees, and spend a little time on the beach. Then I track down Daisy May to purchase 1,800 turnips, double the biggest batch I've done so far, and drop them in my new basement farm. It looks cute, as I suspected, so totally worth the effort. I take a big pocket full of fossils over to the museum to reap the benefits of Culture Week, and make some decent progress towards the fossil assessment achievement. I also head to Harv's Island to see if he happened to restock another new art piece, until I remember, of course, that he's not going to be here today. He's on the island, selling raffle prizes for the fireworks show. I time travel to after 7 p.m. to enjoy the August Sunday tradition of watching the fireworks. I get my free bopper headband from Isabel, pull a raffle ticket from Red and get some boba as my prize, submit some custom designs for the fireworks show, and then just soak in the view from the bridge. It's great how much the little things can still be so exciting. Day 216 is the Monday of a new week, and this week's theme is Business Week. The first order of business is to head to Nook's Cranny to check the turnip prices. I'm pretty much following this guide I found on Reddit, and at first I was struggling to trust the process, but last week it paid off. This week though, the Monday morning sell price is already more than the buy price, so it could go in any direction. Now for Business Week, I'm not only focused on chasing big profits in the turnip game, but also just seriously getting down to business in general. I spent some time doing crude calculations on some of the more daunting goals, and how much I need to do per day to hit my milestones before the end of the challenge. Spoiler alert, it's a lot. So I'm locking into a work mentality, and I want to catch 30 bugs, 30 fish, 20 sea creatures, and chop 100 pieces of wood every day this week. Business. I'm also only 19 clams away from finishing out that Nook Mile achievement, so as long as I dig up 3 to 4 a day this week, I should have it covered. On the first day of this ambitious regimen, I'm already struggling. I craft up plenty of axes to get me through the week, but I never get around to wood chopping because the villagers keep pulling me into other directions. I spot Olive relaxing and being the opposite of Business Week, which I love for her, and I try to take a picture, but she gets up immediately, because of course she does. Kyle wants me to hang out at his place, so I have to entertain him. And Bo stops me to make up a secret greeting for us. Since he's always calling me guacamole and he loves snacks, I feel like chips and salsa is the most logical greeting I can give him. I time traveled to 12 p.m. to check the afternoon turnip prices, and they've gone up again, but I think I need to have faith and wait it out. Then I've got to stop by the shadiest businessman of them all, Red. He's brought a lot of fakes as usual, but he has the sinking painting, which is always authentic, and luckily I don't have that one yet. Day 217 is a Tuesday and business week continues. We're headed straight to Nook's Cranny to check the turnip prices and start the day. There's been a slight dip since yesterday, so I'm still waiting to see how this plays out. I get to work on my daily grind, catching whatever bugs I see, and then heading around my familiar loop to shake all the trees and clear out the wasps. I catch more bugs along the loop to hit my 30 for the day, including a cicada shell that unlocks the Cicada Memories Nook achievement. I also get stung by wasps because, of course I do. After that, I circle back through my trees to chop wood from all of them, and chop every fruit tree as well since they're not currently ripe. And I've got to make up for not chopping any wood at all yesterday. I also dig up fossils since I'm already making the loop, and I talk to CJ to trigger his Sea Sports challenge since I want to catch 30 fish today no matter what. After I finish chopping all the trees and catching my 30 bugs, I make a pit stop at Nook's Cranny to sell off some inventory from my totally full pockets. Then pick a spot by the bridge to fish up my 30 fish for the day using fish bait. For a quick break time, I have a little sit on the beach with Kyle, and then it's back to business as I dive into the sea to catch 20 sea creatures. If you're wondering if it's easy to do all this in our time frame of an hour, no, it is not. And I'm already gritting my teeth at how harrowing this week might be. I do get a visit from Pascal in the water today, which completely finishes off the You Oughta Know Nook Mile achievement. Before ending the day, I check the turnip prices again, which are still dropping, and sell off all my sea creatures. Business. Day 218 is Wednesday on Business Week, and you know the drill. Olive stops me suddenly on my way to Nook's Cranny to gift me a Zen uniform. Maybe she's telling me I need to chill out a little, but she doesn't understand. Business. Then it's back on the loop again, stopping for fish and bugs whenever I see them, and cleaning up all of the wood that I left on the path yesterday. The fruit is back today, so I harvest all of that, since that's another achievement I need, and chop all of the fruit trees for wood. I wisely brought my extra storage shed with me today, so I can empty my pockets halfway through the loop and then keep on grinding. Fruit and trees feel never-ending, but the flow of the loop does make it all feel pretty streamlined. The real challenge for time this week is fishing. I don't want to burn through all my fish bait using 30 of them each day, so I try to keep an eye out for every possible shadow I see. Once I loop back to the plaza, I run into Felicity, who wants me to change her catchphrase groovy, which I am absolutely not doing. We stay groovy. I've strategically timed my gameplay today by starting the day at 11:45 a.m., so that by the time I make it around to Nook's Cranny after 12 p.m., I can check the afternoon turnip prices. The prices have spiked to 149 bells, and I'm too nervous to hope for a bigger spike since I invested more than I ever have before. I pick up all the turnips I laid out in the basement farm and sell them off to Timmy and Tommy for a respectable profit. My pockets are so full of bells, I gotta stop at the ABD to make a sizable deposit. Business. The day's not yet done though, we've still got 20 sea creatures to catch and a walk-in appointment with Pascal. Just when I think I can clock out, I get stopped by Pearl, who wants me to deliver a thank you present to Plucky. I'm glad Pearl is making friends, but man, I'm feeling pretty stretched thin this week. Day 219 is a Thursday, and we're taking on some night business. I treat myself to some shopping with Flick, and I don't know what Cat is doing, but it does not look up to code. I get to business making my island loop, feeling extremely focused on maximizing my time to effectively catch 30 bugs, catch 30 fish, chop 100 wood, and pick up any fossils I happen to see along the way. The bugs and wood are easy enough, but the fish are once again the biggest threat to my time limit. Then I run into Wisp, so I've got to take care of that. Then I find a lost journal, so I've got to take care of that. Eunice says the journal belongs to Bo, so I guess I'll have to hunt him down while I also look for Wisp spirit pieces and try to hit the rest of my quotas. Business. I dig up enough clams to finally finish the Clam and Collected Nook Mile achievement. My last net breaks, so I have to stop and craft some more before I can finish collecting all the pieces for Wisp, and with that I've achieved the next milestone for Wispy Island Secrets. I finish off my fishing quota, but no matter where I look, even in the shops and other villager houses, I can't seem to find Beau anywhere to return his notebook, and it's actually stressing me out. Business week has really been running me ragged. But as I rush through the museum to look for him, I stop for a second to pause and admire this incredible tableau of critters. Critters that I've donated through my relentless efforts. And I realize it's fine if I don't find Beau tonight. Look at this museum. Look at this island. Look at all the stamps in my Nook Miles passport. I set some particularly aggressive goals for this week, which were tough enough on their own, and trying to keep up with all my normal resident duties on top of that was clearly not sustainable. I forced myself to sit down and have a hot cup of coffee at the Roost, pouring my heart out to Kat and Brewster about the business blues, and I'm in a much better mindset now. I finish out the night by catching all my sea creatures and indulging in the sage wisdom of Pascal. Day 220 is still business week, but it's casual Friday. I'm going to do all that I can towards the quotas without stressing myself out too badly. Everyone's allowed to phone it in a little on Fridays. I had barely begun my work when Eunice stopped me for a house visit, so of course I pull her into the office. We gotta talk about this constant need for validation, girl, because this resident rep is a busy woman. On my loop today, I'm still catching bugs and fish, but instead of chopping wood, I'm just focused on cleaning everything up from my chaotic week. I finally catch up with Beau looking for his diary, so I can finally hand that over. Our campsite villager is Chow, another sweet old friend from my OG island. When I find that Kyle is sick, I'm inspired to create my first wand outfit so that I can transform into Nurse K-Tab to deliver him some medicine. After that, it's time to collect my paycheck to end out business week. I grab stacks and stacks of the fruit and seashells I've been accumulating in storage to sell to Timmy and Tommy. With this, I hit another milestone for Greedy Weeder and completely finish Pick of the Bunch and Go Ahead, Be Shellfish. I head to the museum to hand over all my stockpiled fossils too, leaving me only 90 fossil assessments away from finishing the Nook achievement. And finally, after ignoring her for 6 months, I decide, why not? Let's finally help out Label with her fashion research. It's totally kismet because she assigns me a vacation theme. It's like she knew that business week needed to come to a close and we needed a little vacay escapism. She's impressed by the look, of course, and I get awarded my very first tailored tickets. Day 221 is the weekend, baby, so I'm obviously rocking the vacation outfit I styled for Label. I'm definitely chatting up all of the villagers today since I've been so busy this past week, and enjoy some shopping at Abel's with my tailor tickets. I'm overdue for giving out gifts, so I want to show the love, no matter where they're hiding or how they're dressed. I'm also overdue for sending postcards. So I just send some cute little hellos to all our friends and earn another milestone for Popular Pen Pal. I hit up the customary Saturday KK Slider concert to end the day. Day 222 is another Wildcard Sunday, a day where I can wear a totally random outfit and do whatever I feel like doing. After I kiki with Felicity and Sparrow in town, the beautiful summer day has me in the mood for catching bugs in the flower field for a while. I also have to touch base with Daisy May. My confidence in the stock market is growing, and this week I'm buying 2.5 times the most I've ever bought, especially now that I've got my dedicated room for turnip storage. I am terrified of derailing my achievement progress by losing money. But also, go big or go home. I take a casual boat tour with Captain. There's nothing too exciting about the island, so I just do some light resource harvesting. Then I head to Harv's Island, forgetting, yet again, that Red won't be here because he's doing the fireworks raffle. But at least I can see Sahara and get some new walls and flooring. From there I time travel to the evening to take in the joys of the August Sunday night fireworks show. Day 223 marks the Monday of a new week, so it's time to kick off a new theme. This week is Arts and Crafts Week. I am mostly done with the capitalist grind after business week, except for the fact that I will absolutely be religiously checking turnip prices, so I guess there's no escape actually. My intention for this theme week is to chill out on stressing too much about numbers, and just lean into beautifying and personalizing my island. I craft a big old stack of tools to get me through the week, and then I set my sights on cleaning up the overgrown flowers on my island loop path. Because of how much I knocked out last week in terms of achievements, I'm giving myself permission this week into taking my time with decorating and indulging in overanalyzing the small details. The joy of decorating often doesn't come from doing things quickly or perfectly, but just from savoring and contemplating the subtleties and the vibes. I use some custom codes to manage the flower overgrowth and go ahead and start ordering things that pop into my mind to use for future decorating in the area. I've got my workbench and my storage shed with me today so that I can experiment and try out lots of different things as I go. It's nice to be able to indulge in changing my mind and staring at spaces, and just being kind of particular and fussy. I've totally loved the way this island has organically emerged and the gradual decorating that I've done so far. In a way, not allowing myself to overplan and overthink things with decorating challenged my creativity in other ways, and I was more able to appreciate the natural beauty of the game without tons and tons of clutter. But I feel like I've earned a little time now to really fine-tune and enjoy the more minute details of our decor. When it's nearly time to end the day, I've really only made small changes to a small area, but it was so engaging to think about things a little differently. I do, of course, save myself a few minutes at the end of the hour to head to Harv's Island and check red stock, because it wouldn't be Arts and Crafts Week without making time to contribute to the arts section of our museum. On day 224, Label is visiting again, so in the spirit of Arts and Crafts Week, we'll contribute to her fashion research and let her demands guide our outfit for today. She said that she wanted a work outfit, but she gave us the workout top, so okay. We can try to mock up a casual look for a hip, young, artistic type to satisfy her challenge and our arts and crafts theme, I guess. I pick up exactly where I left off yesterday with decorating, adding the items I ordered yesterday. And how sweet is it that Olive is already enjoying the aesthetic improvements we've been making to our rustic walking path. I add some more garden lanterns so there's plenty of light whenever we play in the evening hours, and I'm feeling very satisfied with how this area looks now. I keep moving to the next stretch of the pathway. I know that I need to do something with my flower field back here, but at the moment it just feels too overwhelming to know exactly what that should be. I do a bit of crafting and start adding some decorations to the area around our pond. I definitely noticed last week when I was fishing like crazy that this area in particular could use some scenic flair. So I put together a little rustic fishing depot and I'm really happy with it. I end the day by harvesting some specific flowers I'll want to use for crafting DIYs in the future, and of course checking the turnip prices at Nook's Cranny. It's now day 225 and Arts and Crafts Week continues. I've again loaded in strategically at 11:45 to check the AM turnip prices at Nook's Cranny. And it looks like the prices have hit their first spike. So before we start decorating, let me break down what I mean by spike and what exactly I'm looking for here in the turnip hustle. I've been basing all my turnip decisions entirely on this one Reddit thread that I found, that I will link in the description below. You take the Monday morning sell price and divide it by the Sunday buy price. And based on that number, you can determine which of roughly 4 possible patterns the turnip prices are going to follow. This week, the Monday sell price was 67 and the Sunday price was 92, which gives us 0.73, and that means we're looking at a type 1 or type 4 price pattern this week. The price has been steadily dropping and today shot up to 120 bells, meaning that's our first spike. We can tell it is a type 4 now because the spike price is less than 1.4 times the sell price. So the peak price should be the 4th interval after this spike. Yeah, that sounds right. Intervals represent each time the price changes, usually AM and PM of each day. I didn't really wrap my head around these formulas until I regularly started engaging in turnip sales each week. But at this point, I think I've got it down. Okay, that's enough math and capitalism for now. Let's get back to arts and crafts. I've got a few new furniture items that I want to craft, in particular ones using all the flowers I harvested yesterday. I go back and add a few of them to the path area I've already decorated, and then I add some simple natural items to this tiny cove along our tree path. Nothing too crazy, just some color and texture variety to add some visual interest as we make our island walks. It's kind of funny how many times I redid and checked over what amounts to just a few tiles. But this week is all about giving myself those fussy liberties. Next, I lock into a project I've been thinking about for a while, but I just didn't feel like I had the time to commit to it. I've been irked by the visual clutter of my huge orchard for a while. So I'm going to dig up all of my apple trees and relocate them to this empty space over here in front of my peach trees. The second tier of my island still feels a lot more like a work in progress than the rest of the island. But already this change feels like it clears up some clutter and congestion, and I think it's going to improve the aesthetics of my island flow. Glad I gave myself the time to make this happen. For a last-minute touch, I clean up some of the flowers at the back of the cliff and put down a simple seating area overlooking the flower field below. Day 226 is a Thursday, and my week of cozy decorating has convinced me to lock in and do something with my flower farm today. But first, of course, we check the turnip prices, and it looks like we've hit our peak. And if we haven't, well, it's still a good enough price that I'm not taking any chances. I collect all the turnips from our farm basement and hand them over to Timmy and Tommy for a fat profit. We're halfway to making $1 million in profit from the stock market. As I leave the shop, I catch the kitty girls talking fashion, so I gab with them for a while. Then it's off to the flower field, where I'm definitely going to do something. Something needs to happen back here, but I have no idea what. So I'm gonna put it off and check out Red's boat. Red has no new art for me. Great. All I can think to do to help me sort out the flower field is to group them by type. I start by digging up all of the pansies and relocating them to the beach. Then, with some space freed up, I start organizing my cosmos into rows by color. For some reason, in my head, it just makes sense to have the flower field operate as a storage and inventory ledger of our flowers. At least until we get flower storage with the 3.0 update. Which, at the time of this playthrough, we did not have. So I'm going to organize all my flowers into rows by color and type. This will let me easily pick flowers needed for crafting, and just get a general sense of how many of what kinds of flowers I even have. I still don't have a particularly rigorous color palette for the island in terms of using specific flowers for decorating. I've been sticking to warm tones for the flowers, with sporadic pinks and blues, in particular leaning on cosmos and mums. But it's all been fairly happenstance. A lot of my island areas don't have flowers simply because I don't have the time to manage the overgrowth. The island is mostly open, which works perfectly for my current style of play, but at some point I might want to hone in on a flower aesthetic. I figure once I get all the flowers organized, I can use my hybrid pens to play around with garden palettes and arrangements. And yes, I have given up on flower breeding for purple windflowers and green mums. There's simply no time in this playthrough, and I've already dedicated another entire playthrough to focusing specifically on flowers, which you can check out my playlist for. I got some purple hyacinths and pink cosmos, which I needed for crafting, and the rest of my hybrids have emerged organically. Day 227 is Friday for Arts and Crafts Week, and I'm definitely going to be spending most, if not all of my time today finishing reorganizing my flower field. Aside from ordering this cucumber horse from Nook Shopping, it's essential. I continue the overwhelming project I started yesterday of rearranging. This meticulous flower management involves a whole lot of digging, and for a while it's really fun and relaxing. There's a reason I already dedicated a whole playthrough to this particular game mechanic. But now that it's ended up taking up my entire time limit for 2 full days, at a certain point I have to ask, to what end? Is it worth it? Best not to overthink it and just enjoy the gameplay. Arts and Crafts Week was a deliberate effort to balance out the min-maxing vibes of Business Week by being unafraid to experiment and dilly-dally. Whether or not it feels, quote, productive. Day 228 is Saturday, and for the last day of Arts and Crafts Week, we're really going to lean into the crafts. I cashed in a few of my banked Treasure Island visits in June in order to get a fair chunk of DIY recipes that I really wanted. And since then, I've been less concerned about checking for DIYs from villagers or bottles. I've still done it if there's time, but it hasn't been a priority. Today I check around to find the AM DIY, but it's sadly one I already know. I finally took some time recently to find a spreadsheet with all the DIY recipes, which I can link that Reddit thread in the description. And I went through and marked all of the ones that I have. There's still about 300 that I'm missing, so in the spirit of cataloging as much as possible, I'm committed to getting back on that DIY recipe hunt. I checked my beaches for the DIY bottle, and it turns out to be the iron work table, one I actually don't have. Then I head on a boat tour with Captain to see what message bottle we'll find there. I harvest the first weeds in sight because greedy weeder is still a thing after all, And the message bottle has the rustic stone wall. One I already know. Okay, might as well chop some wood. I am forever chopping wood. Back at home, I've decided on today's decorating project. Now that the apple trees have been relocated, I want to clean up this transition area here and make it a clearer and cleaner pathway. I undo some of what was down before and add some in-game pathing for a nice broad walkway. I add a bit of fencing and some other decorative custom codes, and voila, simple but effective. This area looks so much more aesthetically pleasing now. I'm inspired to continue this flow across the river, shifting the Star Farm back a couple tiles and adding some little decorative pathing swatches that matches other parts of the island. Next I head to HHP to hunt for more DIYs. Obviously I have to check the beach bottle where I get a new recipe with the log wall-mounted clock. Then I head into our restaurant plate to talk to the head chef Octavian and see what cooking recipe he can teach us. I have to confess, I was 25 years old when I learned that you could visit your restaurant for daily recipes. But it's never too late to enjoy a new element of the game. Sadly, I already know this one. From there I time travel to the evening to find the PM DIY, but Pearl is cooking up a recipe we already know. We've taken advantage of 6 possible DIY learning opportunities today, and 2 of them have been something we need. So I guess a third isn't bad. Finally, I take in the KK Slider concert with some music appreciation to close out Arts and Crafts Week. Day 229 is another Wildcard Sunday, emphasis on the wild today. I had it in my head that I would time travel multiple times today to maximize the DIYs I could find. But when none of my at-home villagers were crafting, I got a little confused. I rechecked the houses a few times before realizing that the fireworks show counts as a special event, so the villagers won't be doing any crafting today. I do a casual island loop where I catch some bugs and of course continue the hunt for fossils since we're so close to finishing that achievement. I harvest some fruit and knock out some wood chopping. The message bottle DIY today is sadly nothing new. When I run into Daisy May, I commit once again to a fairly large haul of turnips because I am truly locking in on that achievement now. Make me lots of money, my little guys. I take a boat tour to try for another DIY and what do you know? It's another repeat. DIY hunting has become a real lottery at this point. I time travel to the evening to catch the fireworks show. Red's raffle gets me a blue sparkler that I put to use right away. But we're not done yet. I'm still gonna hit up HHP to check the message bottle there. And look at Ike, y'all. Look at him go. You go, Ike. The message bottle here is another dud, and so is the cooking recipe from Octavian, but oh well, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Day 230 is back to Monday, and I'm giving myself a break from themes this week. We're just gonna enjoy the fading summer vibes and loosely follow my old standby routine of daily focus, with a few alterations depending on the current goals. Obviously, I'm definitely checking for DIY recipes every day again. Sparrow doesn't have a new recipe, but he is wearing a new shirt, so that's fascinating. Is he finally over Twilight? I checked the Monday morning turnip prices for a baseline. Looks like this week could either be a type 1 or type 4. I want to make a quick island loop, but before I do, I clock Kyle waiting outside Olive's house. What are you waiting on, my guy? The courage to go inside? I'm telling y'all, there's something brewing there. I hunt down as many fossils as I can and open the message bottle DIY, another dud. Then I take a boat tour with Captain to check out the message bottle there. This one is the rocking horse and I don't already know it. And it feels so satisfying to make that little card go poof after getting so many repeats in a row. I time travel to the evening to get an extra villager DIY, but we already know the bamboo bench. I thwart a scorpion attack and do a quick loop around the island just to check and see if Celeste or Wisp have arrived, but they haven't. Next I fly to Harv's Island to check on the new Monday inventory. Red has nothing new for me. Throw me a bone, cousin. I buy some new items from Sahara and then fly to HHP to check the DIYs. Message bottle is a dud, but Octavian teaches me to make mixed fruit crepes, so we'll call this a successful Monday errand day. Day 231 shall be a Tuesday plants day. I immediately spot Sparrow contemplating leaving the island. No! I'm sorry I teased you about the vampire stuff, please don't go. Another round of DIY checks doesn't give us anything new today. The turnip prices have their first spike, so now I'm waiting for that 4th interval peak. I think. I hope. But anyway, look at Butch just fishing outside his house. What a cutie. For plant focus, what else can I do but continue my flower reorganization project? including adding some custom pathing here behind the cliff to keep flowers from growing that I can't actually see. When it's all said and done, I feel somewhat satisfied by having everything so organized. But at the same time, maybe it would have been more aesthetically pleasing just to leave it as a mixed and matched flower chaos. Oh well, big picture, I can always come back to it. Day 232 is a Wednesday, traditionally my day for decorating. And today we're making big moves. I am finally going to create a build here in the empty space across from Nook's Cranny. I've really wanted a record store build for a while on this island, and I don't know why it took me so long to realize this is where it should go. This is a great chance to play with some of my favorite items of the game, all of the music players, and of course the karaoke machine. I also wanted a cozy sitting area with headphones where you can listen before you buy. Record stores and CD stores are a place I spent a lot of time in my youth, something that's not really very commonplace anymore with the decline in physical media. So this build feels very nostalgic and comforting and fun to me, and I think it fits in perfectly with the rest of this area as an open-air market for the shopping district. Unfortunately, my DIY roulette was filled with disappointment again, even when I time traveled to the evening for a second chance at a second villager recipe. Day 233 is the day that my turnip prices should be peaking, but I am a little nervous I miscalculated. I think this was indeed a type 1 random week after all, but I'm not sure. I make the compromise of selling half of them now, where the price is fairly decent, and crossing my fingers for another spike to sell the rest. I finally get a DIY win when Pearl teaches me how to make the Cosmo wreath. But the message bottle is another repeat. Today is another Thursday, which means it's time to get back to my favorite pastime, catching critters. I do a whole lot of fishing on the beach, nabbing the stingray for my collection, and I may as well dig up some fossils too. Also, oh my god, it's happening. It's happening. Kyle and Olive are talking. The will they, won't they drama is everything, honestly. I also spot this cute moment where Eunice and Felicity are just talking up a storm, having a good time, completely oblivious to the fact that they are standing in Butch's way. I think he's just too polite to say anything. I do some sea creature catching and then drop off the latest stack of donations to Blathers. I also get some fossils assessed and check on our fossil assessment progress. We're definitely getting closer. I checked the afternoon turnip prices and boy have they dropped off big time. I should have just sold everything. I definitely misstepped. I can cross my fingers for better prices tomorrow, but I don't think that's likely. Day 234 marks the return of Friendship Friday. I get to say hello to Kyle right away, because I'm pretty sure he's lurking around to stalk me from my yard again. I save Eunice from her flea infestation, and I catch up with both Felicity and Kat in front of Abel's, doing some Friday afternoon shopping. I myself pick up this very cool captain's hat. I sell off the rest of my turnips at Nook's Cranny. The loss doesn't set my achievement progress back too far, but it obviously doesn't help it progress any this week. Pearl teaches me a useless cooking recipe, which validates my cute outfit choice for today. Bo and Sparrow are hanging out together, and this is very, very cute to me. I time travel to the evening, and Plucky has a new cooking recipe for me, so I give her a gift. I actually give Pearl a gift too. It's not her fault I already have so much DIY knowledge. I catch Olive on an evening walk, and I get a visit from Celeste. She's obviously checking up on the Star Farm. Lastly, I head to the airport and fire off a few postcards. Most of them are simple, but I do have a burning question for Kyle. Day 235, we end the week with a summer bug-off. A great chance to spend time outside, running around and enjoying all the work I put into decorating last week. I also have lots of bugs that I've been stacking up in my storage, so I get the chance to earn a little money from Flick. Day 236 is back to a Wildcard Sunday. Look, Ma, I'm a grape. Kyle sends an appropriately cryptic response to me asking about his crush on Olive. Pearl is a fan of my wildcard outfit and gifts me some flower sandals to go with it. I see Daisy May, but I pass on turnips for this week. I've got some pretty big plans that are going to keep me too busy to check prices every day. I do some stretches with the villagers, and then I head on a boat tour with Captain. He brings us to a 2.0 island where I can get some resources, and I finally learn a new DIY recipe with the glowing moss pointed heft. I time travel to the evening for the fireworks show, and I get an orange frozen treat from Red's raffle. The fireworks are beautiful as always, but I can't stay long. I've got another errand today. I get a new recipe from the message bottle at HHP, even though Octavian doesn't have any new ones. I pick up several items from the company store and do some ordering from Wardell. At this point IRL, it's January 12th, 2026, just 3 days away from the 3.0 update dropping, and I'm hyper aware that I should start upping my cataloging to get as much as I can for the Slumber Islands. I even stop by the cafe, too, to pick up some food items. Day 237 begins a new week, and I'm ready once again to lock in to another theme. This week is all about critters. It's the last week of August, and there are a few critters that are leaving soon, so I've got to lock in and do whatever it takes to get them for the museum before they become unavailable. Today I'm channeling my best fisherman vibes to dedicate my energy entirely to catching the rare Napoleon fish from the ocean. It takes a lot of time, a lot of fish bait, and of course a few sea bass fake-outs, but I finally hook him. Big, blue, weird-looking guy. Then I time travel to later in the day so we can enjoy the rare Monday KK concert, delayed by the bug off and the fireworks taking over the weekend. Day 238 continues Critter Week, and now we can focus on catching some of the mini tree trunk bugs that I'm still missing. First, I have to pop in to greet our campsite villager. The hippo villagers can be hard to love, but this one seems decently cute, I suppose. Then I use a Nook Miles ticket to visit a mystery island. And the strategy, once again, is to clear out all of the flowers and trees and meticulously check the palm trees. This process itself takes so much time, in addition to chasing bugs and waiting for the right ones to spawn, that it's pretty hard to fit it all in effectively in a 1-hour time limit. I do manage to add the walking stick and the Goliath beetle to my collection, but we're not done yet. Day 239, I want to give myself plenty of time, not even going to change my outfit, and absolutely nothing can distract me. Well, except for this. This is great. What is this? What are we doing here? After some more research, I learned that a mystery island with no water helps shrink the available pool of bugs by eliminating the water bugs. So I travel until I find a bamboo island, luckily getting one on my second ticket. I pick the flowers and chop the trees for visibility, but I save some time not having to dig up the stumps, since bugs don't spawn on bamboo stumps. I also dig up and relocate the palm trees to put them a little closer, so that checking them will be even quicker. I'm focused tonight on catching the very rare golden stag. I circle the island for an entire hour, and even though I catch plenty of bugs that will make me good money, the golden stag never appears. So day 240 is more of the same. No outfit change, no DIY hunt, no Nook's Cranny. Just Nook Miles tickets until I find a bamboo island, clearing everything out and checking palm trees again and again and again. I do this for probably more than an hour. I say screw the time limit at a certain point because I simply cannot give up tonight until I find the golden stag. Finally, after endless searching, I spot it on a tree. I've never been more terrified that I will mess up a catch. Slowly, it's all been leading up to this moment. I got it! Golden stag! Does this mean I can retire? Obligatory celebration dance before the plane ride home because man, this one bug ended up being a whole saga. By day 241, I've caught the last of the fish and bugs I was missing for August, so tonight I'm all about sea creature catching. There's nothing leaving this month that I haven't already got, so this night will be much more chill. I have time to check for my daily DIYs, even though I don't get anything new, and Flick is our visitor, so I can sell him all the excess bugs I caught this week. Those rare beetles, scorpions, and atlas moths really rake in the profits. I go for a relaxing late-night swim, a welcome break from the stress of waiting for the golden stag. And we get an appearance from Pascal, and he gives us the recipe for the mermaid rug. I finally catch the horseshoe crab. And before I end the day, I look through my Critterpedia app. I gotta say, it feels so incredible to see just how few critters remain from completing it. The playthrough is nearing the 250-hour mark at this point, and we have accomplished just so much. Day 242 is the last day of Critter Week, and I've got my eye on one more critter that I almost forgot about. I find a scenic spot by the river and fish until I catch the soft-shelled turtle. Then I check for the DIY lesson, and Kat keeps it real as always when it's something I already know. I proudly hand over my latest batch of donations to Blathers at the museum, and even take in a celebratory cup of coffee at the Roost. What a week. I time travel to the evening to attend the KK Slider concert, and I get a second chance to learn a new DIY recipe. Felicity comes through with the wooden block wall clock. Not the most exciting recipe, but we are slowly but surely getting closer to collecting them all. Day 243 is another Wildcard Sunday, and it's the last Sunday fireworks show for August. Today I'm rocking the luchador outfit. Another great outfit I can definitely say I've never worn before in Animal Crossing. I indulge in a few extra raffles with Red since it's the last one, and I get a strawberry cotton candy, green boba tea, a Ramune soda frozen treat, and a red balloon. I do a bit of fossil hunting while I soak in the lit up skies, and then I do some off-island trips. I get a sweet Money Tree Island from Captain's Boat Tour, as well as a new DIY recipe. I stop by Harv's Island to check out Sahara's latest stock and sell some weeds to Leaf. Then I head to HHP. The message bottle and head chef Octavian don't give us any new DIYs, but I go ahead and order some more stuff from Wardell for the catalog. Day 244 marks the start of a new month, September. Isabel informs us of some new seasonal crafting items and gifts us the Tree's Bounty Little Tree DIY recipes straight to our Nook phone. We're indulging in another theme this week. It's Career Week. There are so many job-specific dress items I never get to wear. And not only can we showcase them this week, but I'm also focusing on my own career as a vacation home designer. I'm just a few homes away from finishing the Happy Home Paradise DLC. First, I tackle some casual dailies like checking the shop, and I order the adorable grape harvest basket from the seasonal Nook offerings. Bo tries again to get a new catchphrase, but it's still not happening. Salt Lick is still cute to me. Olive doesn't have a new DIY recipe to give us, but there is redemption with the message bottle, and I learned to make golden armor shoes. I head to Harv's Island to check out the new inventory. Red has no good art, but I buy a fake one to hopefully make room for him to restock something I need. I buy some new stuff from Sahara, and of course say hello to Cornimer, to get some free acorns. Then I head to Happy Home Paradise. There are no DIY recipes for us here, but our main objective is to get back to work and create another vacation home build. I design a candy-themed home for sweet girl Ellie, and when I make it back to home base, Tom Nook is chatting up Lottie about the work we've been doing here. So now I can use my full catalog when decorating vacation homes. Day 245 continues Career Week with a rare opportunity to wear the firefighter outfit. It's so cute. I stop by Red's and buy some more art I don't need, and then hit up Tortimer for my free acorns. I get disappointed yet again by the DIYs I find on Happy Home Paradise, but for my shift, I'm ecstatic to find our old friend Julia at the restaurant. Now I can build her a vacation home and visit her whenever I like. She wants a relaxing place to play the guitar, and I know she's a very discerning lady, so I take extra care with this one. Day 246, we're going for miner and/or construction worker vibe for our career look. Red is on the island today, and thankfully he finally has something new that I can buy for the museum. Before I can head into my job, I learn that some of the kitties have been fighting, so I deliver an apology gift from Kat to Felicity. I don't know how she does it, but Felicity looks cute in this outfit too. She's such an icon. We love her. At Happy Home Paradise, shock and surprise, there are no new DIYs. I exchange some bells for Pokey, and I design a glamping getaway for this handsome fellow Gonzo. Day 247, we continue Career Week with the flight attendant outfit. We have a campsite villager today, and it's Hazel. I think she's pretty cute, but we're good on sisterly villagers at the moment. At Harv's Island, Red has absolutely nothing, so I buy yet another fake Valiant statue to shift the inventory. And of course pick up my free acorns. No new recipes at HHP, so I stop by Wardell to make some catalog orders and then find a client for the day. I create a bougie tea and cake setup for Colton. This marks the 30th home I've decorated for Happy Home Paradise. And me and the rest of the staff have a little party to celebrate. For day 248, we're dressed in vintage secretary vibes. Today I have to assist Gullivar in getting back his communicator, and I find a lost notebook that I return to Olive. Red has no new art, once again. I don't know why I keep investing in useless art, but I'm a long way off from finishing the museum exhibit, so I'm willing to try anything. After my standard round of DIY disappointments on HHP, I talked to Lottie about rehabilitating our final facility, the clothing shop. I hire Kid as our shopkeep, he seems fairly cool and fashionable, and I name the shop Button. With this final build, the Happy Home Paradise DLC has been completed. It's been a fun little run. And the ending cutscene with this beach rave and DJ KK is honestly one of my favorite things. It goes so unnecessarily hard. I love it so much. Every time. Day 249, I start with a phone call from Tom Nook. We can now customize our villager houses on Honeycake after finishing the DLC. Today is a Saturday and we're done with career week now, so I'm back to some casual outfit vibes. I hunt for my daily DIYs and I get absolutely nada. I've been checking for these DIYs every day this week before heading to HHP, but I didn't bother including the footage because yeah, it was all duds all around. It's been a while since I've harvested my crop fields, and a rainy day seems like as good a day as any to do that, since it will automatically water the crops. After that, I take some time to clean out my backed up mailbox, and of course, settle in for the weekly KK Slider concert. Day 250 is another Wildcard Sunday. After a full week of disappointments, my best girl Plucky finally gives me a new DIY recipe to learn. Can't say the same for the message bottle. I spend my wildcard day doing a loop to collect fossils, fishing at the river mouth to catch some of the new September fish, and crafting a whole bunch of tools to replenish my dwindling stock. I also learned that Butch and Bo have been fighting, so I deliver Butch's apology gift to Bo, a black raincoat. I sell a bunch of stuff to Nook's Cranny to knock out a bunch of Nook Miles tasks, and I finally hit the final milestone for the Greedy Weeder achievement. I do some celebratory shopping at Abel's shop, and then head to Harv's Island for a last hope that Red has stocked something I need before the inventory turns over. Thanks for nothing, Red. I pop over to HHP, and at least I get a new DIY recipe there. Day 260 is the Monday of a new week, and I'm going no theme, no routine this week. Just casually enjoying life on my island and tackling a variety of goals as I see fit. I catch Sparrow taking a vampire nap, and I think that's cute. Cat asks me to leave the island, and since we have quite a few cats on the island by now, I feel like it's appropriate to let her move on. I do some tree shaking and wood chopping, and then, oh boy, Eunice wants me to come over again, and I get my 4th copy of her photo. I'm a tad over it. I still need to plant trees for one of my Nook Mile achievements, and now that it's pinecone season, I realize I truly don't have enough cedar trees to be able to harvest pinecones for crafting. So I drop some cedar saplings along my route wherever it looks like there's space for more trees. Then I head to Harv's Island to be disappointed by Red, and to get my free acorns. Next up is HHP for some DIY letdowns and free turnips from Joan. I've also got something very special cooked up, so I grab some of the souvenir chocolates from the company store. Since Kat will be in boxes tomorrow and I won't be able to give her gifts, I gift her the chocolates today so that I can invite her to HHP. I think it's very precious that we get to go to the airport together, and look how excited she is to be here. This is a fitting goodbye present to our girl. I also convince her to get a vacation home. This way I can still visit her even when she moves away. I don't have time to fully decorate it today, so she gets a quick and dirty under construction setup. But we'll come back for her someday. Day 261 is another casual September day, and it's dripping with reminders of Kat's departure. Bo brings up how sad it is to see her go, and Abel's has even stocked her signature outfit in the tailor shop. I stop by Kat's place to say goodbye to her in boxes, and the tears are flowing all around. But island life goes on, and like Bo said, we'll have a new friend soon enough. For the rest of today, I'm focused on catching some of the new September critters. When I scoop up a bell cricket off Pearl's porch, I get a shocking extra line of dialogue. I didn't realize it, but this was the very last bug I needed to catch for the Critterpedia. I can hardly contain my excitement. I rush straight to the museum, hand over my latest donations, and Blathers thanks me for them. And then, nothing else. Nothing else? Aren't you proud of me for finishing the bug section of the museum? Confused and starting to sweat, I consult the Critterpedia. I've definitely caught everything because we got the Nook achievement, so what could I possibly have forgotten to donate? Looks like it's the Walker Cicada. I should have known one of the cicadas would trip me up. There's just too many to keep track of. Luckily, this cicada is still in season through the end of the month, so all is not yet lost for my museum completion. With the time I have left, I park at the river mouth until I catch the king salmon. It is now day 262, and the priority of the day is to find a villager to fill in Kat's empty plot. We're going full-blown villager hunt today. No ticket limits holding us back. But of course there's still a time limit, and of course I'm going to multitask as well. First I'll check out the villager. Here we've got Bruce, who is pretty darn cute, but he's just a little too much like Bo, I think. Before we leave though, I'll be shaking all the trees until we find a piece of furniture to make more progress on the Shady Shakedown achievement. On the next ticket I found Fauna, and I know what everyone's gonna say. Fauna's a fan favorite, she's a world-class cutie, she even matches my general color palette. But I'm just uncertain. I already have 2 normals on my island, and I'd honestly rather hold out for Deidre if I'm gonna get another deer. So I'm gonna pass on Fauna and get to shaking trees. I also spot a Walker Cicada that I snatch up so I can finally actually complete the bug section of the museum. The next ticket is Flora, a cutie, but too tropical for me, so on with the shaking. The next ticket is Eugene, absolutely not, and so we shake. The next ticket has Wade. We do love Wade, but I'm not currently in the market for penguin vibes. Next up, it's Miranda, and I'm a little tempted by her. Love the duckies, but I feel like I'm always saying yes too quickly to pink villagers because I'm blinded by my love of pink. I think I'll hold out for another duck someday. On the next island, it's an ape, and there's not even any trees to shake, so that's a pretty quick turnaround. Next up, we get the glamorous Miss Vivian, but Kyle is enough wolf for our island already. On the next ticket, I find Audie, and I know she's a favorite for a lot of people, but I'm sorry, we still have beef for my first ever island, so goodbye. And I don't know which pig this is, but I know it's not one of the ones that I love. I think this is the most tickets I've used on a hunt in this entire challenge, but I don't know, no one's speaking to me yet. On the next ticket, I spot this weird green goat in the distance, and I figure I'm gonna turn around pretty quickly, but I have to at least say hello to Gruff. And that's when I peep the sideburns. And you know what? I respect those sideburns. I've taken a lot of chances on unfamiliar villagers on this island, and today will be no exception. I invite Gruff to the island. And this might even be a lucky island, because I actually find a new DIY recipe here. And we all know how few and far between those are at this point. Finally, after a packed day of villager hunting, I return to the museum and hand over the very last bug specimen to Blathers. He's delighted, but also repulsed, and soon I'll have another poster to celebrate the completion of another museum section. Day 263, I get my bug poster in the mail from Blathers, and I totally forgot about this, but I also get the golden net recipe in the mail as well. Now I need to put on a new outfit for a new day, and let's just see what shenanigans we can get into. I've got to say hello to our new villager Gruff. His house is apparently very, very green, just like him. He's giving groovy energy. I still don't know what to expect from him, but I think he'll be fun. I do some fruitless DIY hunting and buy a new bag from Kix. I pop some balloons because I know I'm getting closer to the 300 achievement mark. And I can't believe I didn't even notice until editing that I got a double rainbow today. I do some fishing by the river to catch more September fish, and I'm so glad I had Butch here the whole time to keep me company. I love that he nopes out and takes a little nap at some point. I secure the mitten crab and the pike for the Critterpedia, and then head to the museum to drop them off. I've also got a huge round of fossils to assess, and now I'm only 9 fossils away from my achievement. Day 264 is going to be a chill Friday with a little bit of everything. Eunice wants to start calling me K-Beans, and I immediately regret saying yes to her. I don't want people to call me K-Beans. Eunice just seems like she'd take rejection pretty badly. Bo has been having vampire-related nightmares. I can't imagine why. I check in with our new boy Gruff and visit Red's boat. He's once again got this fake work of art, the very first one he fooled me with long ago. I shake some trees and chop some wood, and run into Celeste on the stargazing cliff. I wish on a few shooting stars and end the night with a cup of coffee. Day 265 is Saturday. It feels deep enough into September now that I can really start embracing more fall colors in the daily outfit. I chat to Gruff to get that friendship up, and I'm gonna buy this sick astronaut suit from Abel's. We have a campsite villager today, and oh dear, it's Jitters. Hey, Crazy Pants. Okay, bye. I shake the cedar trees to look for pine cones. I get plenty of acorns from Tortimer, so I'm less worried about shaking the other trees. I also do a fruit harvest because even though pick of the bunch is done, I've still got lots of cooking to do, and I want to have plenty of ingredients. And then me and Butch rock out together at the KK concert. Day 266 is back to Wildcard Sunday. I am living for being a little astronaut. I can't explain why, it's just cute to me. The Wildcard days and theme weeks have really been giving me so many ideas for niche themes that would be fun to do. And I'm so excited for the Slumber Islands, because that is exactly the perfect place for it. Stuff you might not want to commit an entire island and all the work of an entire reset to. A Slumber Island definitely opens the door to be a lot more experimental. Today I'm trying to remember to give out gifts to the villagers that still need to give me their photo. And I am shook to my core because Kyle and Olive are on a date. It's happening. I'm dying. There's nothing new in the DIYs. I buy some turnips from Daisy May and dig up some fossils. I now have enough fossils to get them assessed by Blathers and finally complete the Fossil Assessment Nook achievement. I gotta say, it's interesting how all the achievements have silly pun-filled names except for this one. It's just Fossil Assessment. I need to send some postcards, and to keep things interesting today, I'll be ranking my villagers by sending them a number in the mail. Number 1 has got to be Olive. She is best girl, she's always charming and has never let me down. Number 2 is Plucky. Maybe a wild take since she's newer than some of the others, but I think she's a hoot. She makes me smile. Number 3 goes to my OG, my weird little boy Sparrow. Never had a single opinion about him before this island, but man, we've been through it together. Number 4 is Cutie Bo. How can you not love Bo? Number 5 is Butch. Absolute legend of a guy, can't fault him for a thing. Number 6 is Pearl, always classy, always precious. Number 7 is Felicity. Honestly, I would say I love her as much as I love Pearl. She just gets the next rank by default just for being a peppy. Sorry, girl. Number 8 is Kyle. We love him, but he is kind of the troublemaker on the island. Number 9 is Gruff. Pretty hard to rate him when he just moved in, but he's chill so far. And lastly, number 10 may be shocking, but it's Eunice. I know she's adorable, but I'm just over her. I don't know how she and Olive are both normals, and Eunice is the one always getting in my way and on my nerves, but that's how it shook out. No one is more surprised than me, but I kinda hope Eunice asks to move out soon. Day 267 is the Monday of a fresh week, and at the halfway point of September, I'm gonna steer things in a slightly new direction. At this point, IRL, it was January 13th, and it was clear I wasn't gonna reach the end of the challenge before the 3.0 update. And I didn't even know then, of course, that the update would be dropping an entire day early. Since there are no particular seasonal events for September, I decided to push through it even faster than I've already been doing. I've been playing the full hour max most days, but the minimum is actually 20 minutes. So for the last 2 weeks of September, we're gonna see what we can do each day in just 20 minutes. I give you Speedrun September. A speedrun within a speedrun? Who is she? After checking turnip prices, I get coffee and do stretches, and the highlight of today was getting Plucky's photo, which gets proudly displayed in her yard. I hit up Harv's Island for free acorns and new inventory. Red brings back this cursed fake again. I hit up HHP to check for DIYs and get free turnips from Joan. I peruse the offerings at our apparel shop, Button, and exchange some bells for Pokey before placing some orders with Wardell. And since we're here, we might as well go ahead and take a bug lesson with Nat. Day 268, I take a boat tour with Cap'n and grind some resources. I shake the cedar trees for pine cones and sell a bug to Butch. He wanted it. I can't say no to him. I do a few of the Nook Miles Plus tasks for the day, catching bugs, DIY crafting, cooking, and selling things to Timmy and Tommy. Then I stop for a cup of coffee and run into Gruff. I'm so glad he's making himself at home. Day 269 and we're speeding along. After I check the turnip prices, I spot Bo wearing the raincoat that Butch gifted him a while back. And I kind of hate how he's wearing a raincoat when it's not raining, so I talk to Isabel to make sure he cuts out that nonsense. I chat with Gruff and shake the cedars for pine cones, and return a lost item to Sparrow. The Roost is positively hopping with visitors when I stop in for a coffee break, and by the afternoon the turnip prices have risen to an acceptable price, so I sell off what I have. The profits are modest, but we're gonna get to that million eventually. Day 270, I do some after 8 p.m. play. Pearl teaches me the recipe for seafood pizza. Honestly, gross, but I do want all the recipes. Red is visiting, and I pick up the perfect painting for our collection. I run around looking for a nighttime visitor, but since no one came, I clean up some weeds and do some fishing instead. Obviously, I have to check for pine cones, and I do a round of group stretching. Day 271 is more of the nighttime vibe, but there's no island visitor again. I do some chatting and gifting with some of the villagers, and hunt for more pine cones. Then I dedicate the rest of my time to catching sea creatures. Day 272 brings us to the end of another week. Me and Gruff jam with KK, and I spend my 20 minutes today doing something uninteresting but incredibly necessary: inventory management. I've been stockpiling all these extra DIYs with the intention of sharing them with friends, but A, I'm playing so fast I don't really have time for visitors, and B, more importantly, my Switch has been violently resisting online play despite my troubleshooting, so I've not been able to stay connected to anyone for more than 10 or 15 minutes before crashing. This has more or less taken Treasure Island trips off the table in the second half of the playthrough, but honestly, it hasn't been an issue. I built up a solid foundation in part 1, and things are going pretty smoothly at this point. It takes a few rounds, but I clear up a lot of inventory slots in my storage by selling off my DIY recipes to Nook's Cranny. Day 273 is Wildcard Sunday. In outfit only, I guess, because every day has been a wild card as we zip through September at 20 minutes a day. I clean out my mailbox because that's been neglected for a hot minute. And I can finally start giving gifts to Gruff. I spend most of today fishing with fish bait to try and get the coelacanth since it's raining. No luck there, but I do pop a balloon that gives me the leaf campfire recipe, and I buy a fresh round of turnips from Daisy May. Day 274 is the first day in a minute that I feel like my outfit is actually cute. In trying to keep my daily play under 20 minutes, I have definitely been throwing outfits together super fast, and on most days, it shows. Olive asked to come over, and when I bring her into the office, she is literally the first villager to actually join me in sitting down at the desk. You see, Olive? That's why you're my favorite. I spend a bit of my day catching bugs, and then I fire off some quick Monday errands. Red has nothing for me. You're killing me, Red. So I touch base with Sahara and Kix before I head to HHP for the DIY checks and free turnips from Joan. I also take some time to harvest all the vines and moss from HHP because I feel like I haven't done that in a while. Day 275, I do some shopping at Nook's and Abel's, give out gifts to villagers, and talk to Flick to commission my very last butterfly model, the Monarch. Felicity gives me a cooking recipe for minestrone soup, one of the first new ones I've gotten in a while. And I have enough time to take a boat tour and snag a few resources. It is now day 276, and Speedrun September continues. I'm still gifting Gruff and checking turnip prices, and because it's raining today, I do a harvest of all of my crops. I've been putting off the cooking achievements, but this is me planning ahead to have plenty of ingredients in the future. After that, I dedicate the day once again to trying for the coelacanth fish, once again with no luck. I also watch Kyle and Eunice have a weird breakfast-based argument. Day 277. I spend most of my 20 minutes today doing some wood chopping, and I sell off my turnips. Just 200,000 bells of profits away from that $1 million mark. Day 278, I do a ginormous fruit harvest and get a visit from Celeste. And catch some fleas off Gruff. Day 279 is the final bug off of the year. We do some group stretches to get everyone hyped, and then it's off to the races. After a couple of rounds of catching bugs, Flick tells us we've hit a total score of over 100 points for all the bug-offs, meaning there's a trophy coming our way in the mail. And of course, that's another Nook Mile achievement category completed. Day 280 is another Wildcard Sunday. And man, isn't September just flying by? You know, flying, fairy wings. I swear most of these are accidental, and then I realize as I'm writing them that they're actually puns and I have no choice but to roll with it. It's Animal Crossing. I invest big time in my turnips for this week. I want that million bell mark. I want it so bad. I'm still shaking cedars for those seasonal pine cones, and I realize I need to do some weed cleanup on the walkway. I attend the belated KK Slider concert and actually finally hit another milestone for KK Mania. I know that this is not an achievement I'll finish in the challenge. KK only comes once a week after all, but I've stayed tried and true to not missing a show. Day 281 and September is nearly done. I check the turnip prices to get my baseline for the week and dive straight into my Monday errands. Red is once again giving me absolutely nothing, and I soothe my pain with a raffle prize. Why do I do this? Why do I reward his bad behavior? At HHP, I get absolutely nada in terms of DIYs, but I do get Nox doing the hula, and I will absolutely accept that. What a doll. I also get my turnips from Joan and exchange more bells for Pokey. Day 282, Nook's Cranny has a new item in the shop, which I don't always include footage of me checking the shop, but I gotta say at this point it's been a while since I've seen anything new. I do some tree shaking, and for the first time since I first landed on this island, I actually get stung twice by wasps and end up passing out. I get a visit from Wisp and spend the rest of my evening completing his quest. Day 283 is the first day of October, and there's plenty of seasonal things to look forward to this month. Who doesn't love fall and Halloween in Animal Crossing? The shop has started stocking the spooky furniture items, and of course I need to purchase my daily candy to get ready for Halloween. There's also some pretty cool seasonal moon items available from Nook Shopping. Summer is gone, so these flower decorations have got to go, and we can steadily fill this town plaza with fall and Halloween decorations. I'm so excited. Kyle wants to leave the island, but I fear his work here is not done. We need our smug little bad boy to keep breaking hearts. Hunting for villager DIYs is actually going to be rewarding again because there are so many seasonal recipes to learn. Today I get the spooky chair from Olive and I craft some immediately to replace the tulip surprise boxes in the plaza. I earn some Nook Miles plus points with some rock splitting and critter catching, and do the daily pinecone shakedown. Then I time travel to the evening and find Celeste for a new astronomical recipe. Day 284, I continue October by picking up the latest Halloween item from the shop. The turnip prices have risen to 571 bells. This is the mega peak I've been waiting for. This gives me the next milestone for cornering the stock market by taking our profits from turnips to over 2 million bells. The next milestone is 10 million, but I'm just going to enjoy today's win and worry about that later. Our boy Sparrow sends us on a treasure hunt. Bo is being a cute little guy reading his book on the floor, and he reminds us all that singing is free, a message that I deeply stand behind. Plucky teaches me the spooky arch recipe, which I immediately craft and add to the plaza decor. I go on a boat tour and do another heavy-duty round of chopping wood. I also steal a few tea olive bushes to try out a new variety on the island. Day 285, it's a Friday night, and we're dressed up cute for a bit of friendship focus. I also check out Kick's stock, and he has the impish wings available for Halloween season. Pearl finally gifts me her photo. Into the yard it goes. Touching base with the villagers hasn't come a moment too soon. Speeding through September didn't give me as much time to chat, and it's clear that some of them have been feeling a little ignored. I pick up my daily candy, do my daily pinecone hunt, and I realize I should probably be harvesting more pumpkins this month so that I have plenty for crafting. I find some places to add my newest shrubs, and finish finding all my villagers to chat with. After talking to them all, I've finally completed the Nook achievement category for Island Togetherness. Day 286 is another fine Saturday evening, and right out the gate I get gifted Kyle's photo. I now have all the photos except for our newest villager Gruff. But we'll get there. I pick up my seasonal item and candy from the shop and learn the spooky tree recipe from Bo. I pop a balloon that destroys my slingshot and completely finishes my Trash Tools achievement. It also had a DIY recipe attached, so now I can make the Tree's Bounty lamp. I get to work crafting a round of all of my newest seasonal items and then continue the gradual build-up of our Halloween theme in the plaza, as well as adding some touches to the neighborhood and the orchard. I water the pumpkins to keep our crafting supply going strong. I take an evening dip in the water to try for some of the October sea creatures. And of course, I have to stop by and enjoy KK Slider. Day 287 is another Wildcard Sunday. I've been themeless and routineless for a few weeks of the playthrough now, which has been totally enjoyable. It's been important to always keep things fresh and fun. I never want it to be a joyless grind. The second it doesn't feel joyful, it doesn't really feel worth doing. The challenge is nearly 3/4 of the way done, so it's time to check in with the Nook Miles app and start fine-tuning the checkpoints that will get us to the finish line. There are 3 achievements that relate to total number of critters caught: fishes, bugs, and sea creatures. Completing those categories would be a little soul-sucking, so I've resolved to at least hit the 4th stamp in each category by the end of the playthrough. It will still be challenging enough to be exciting, but not so overwhelming that it just feels like a slog. Categories like DIY furniture, DIY tools, and even furniture freshener I'm not really worried about. That's the kind of stuff that's going to come from organic play. And completing them just to complete them doesn't feel fulfilling. I also know that with bulk crafting and the hotel delivery box, those achievements will come much easier and much more naturally after 3.0 drops. I've been slacking on the cooking achievement, but I've got plenty of cooking plans for the fall, so I'd like to shoot for reaching the 4th stamp in this category too. I am tantalizingly close to finishing Rough Hewn, the wood chopping achievement, and there's no way I'm not getting that last stamp. I've come too far not to. I feel confident I can finish the tree planting and trash fishing categories, and I just need to remodel my house one more time. I have no control over Smile Isle, but I'm still diligently completing requests whenever they come up, so I truly hope to hit the 100 mark by the end. I'm on the fence about completing Nook Miles tasks. I'm knocking them out whenever they align with my daily flow, but this is one achievement I don't mind leaving incomplete. I still want to play on this island. It's my forever island. And the Nook task can easily be something to look forward to in regular daily play. But I guess it would be cool to hit the 1000 mark. I also don't know where I stand on pushing further in cornering the stock market. 10 million is kind of a lot, but also, wouldn't that be sweet to get? I'm determined to finish Popular Pen Pal, and hopefully we can finish the Flea Flicker too. I'm definitely striving to complete its Raining Treasure and get that golden slingshot recipe, so my eyes and ears are staying alert for every balloon possible. I need to pick out an island tune and spend more time at night looking for Wisp. I already knew KK Mania wouldn't be finished by the end, but I can definitely work on taking boat tours for Set Sail for Adventure. I've got quite a bit more coffee stops and group stretches to get, and I'm not fussed about villager birthdays. Those will happen when they happen. I need to attend the last fishing tourney and get 8 more furnitures from Shaking Trees. And of course, we'll get the Active Island Resident achievement before the end of the challenge. In fact, we're almost there. And look at that! There's already a balloon to pop. Oh my god, but my slingshot broke yesterday. Hurry. Craft a new one. Hurry. Hurry. Got it. Gonna take care of what are becoming my October dailies. Harvesting and watering the pumpkins, seasonal item shopping, daily candy purchase, and learning the seasonal DIY from a villager. I find Daisy May and pick up my biggest turnip purchase yet. Over 3,500 turnips. I don't know if 10 million in profits is possible, but I can give it my best effort and see how far we get. I've been stockpiling ingredients for a while now, so the rest of my time today I grab a few random stacks and see what's available for me to cook. I'm gonna start with the ones that I'm most likely to use for decorating, but eventually I do want to craft each cooking recipe at least once. Before we start the next day, it must be pointed out that at this point, IRL, it is January 14th, 2026, the day we were all shook to get the 3.0 update an entire day early. And I just want a smidge of recognition for my incredible willpower. I am not updating the game until the challenge is finished. I've come this far, I've worked this hard, and I am resolute that the delayed gratification will be so worth it. Day 288 brings us to a fresh Monday morning, and guess what? It's gonna be Fall Fitness Week. You see, Butch gets it. He already got us a workout top. And Olive is already getting her reps in. You go, Olive. Get it, girl. This will be another week of stopping by the Roost for a cup of coffee, followed by a group stretch session every day of the week. I'm still working on getting my friendship level up with Gruff, keeping the pumpkins watered, and shaking cedars for pine cones. And of course, I've got to check the turnip prices to get my baseline. Then I head to Harv's Island to be disappointed by Red's selection and grab some acorns. I go to HHP for some more DIY disappointments and free turnips, as well as some clothing and catalog shopping and bells for Poke Exchange. Onwards to day 289. It's time for more coffee with Brewster and fall fitness in the plaza. I forgot to grab a wrapped gift for Gruff, so I follow a whim and gift him this student cap, and I am not disappointed with the results. It's giving Village People, it's giving Freddie Mercury, I love it. I learned the spooky fence recipe from Pearl and tend to my pumpkin and pinecone duties. Then it's time for some wood chopping cardio, come on rough-hewn achievement, and I harvest all of the vegetable crops in the back for more cooking endeavors in the future. I reap the consequences of letting Eunice call me K-Beans because now they're all gonna start calling me K-Beans. I feel like it's out of my hand at this point, I just have to let it happen. I check the turnip prices and note the spike, and return this missing bag to Felicity. Come on, Smile Isle achievement. Day 290. I check the turnip prices, pick up a new seasonal item, and get my daily candy. Then it's time for delicious hot coffee, which lands me another reward from Brewster, and our community stretch session, which lands me another stretch to refresh milestone. Olive teaches me the spooky scarecrow recipe, and Plucky wants me to catch her a dab. I would die for you, Plucky. Consider it done. I catch Bo taking a sweet little nap in the orchard just before I water all of the crops. I do more seasonal crafting and more decorations for the plaza. We're getting so seasonal around here. I even add some spooky trees to the rock garden and jack-o'-lanterns all around town. I check the afternoon turnip prices before I end the day, and it's actually dropped by 12 bells. I don't like that. Day 291, there's a shooting star announcement, but we've got some daytime matters to take care of first. I sell off all my turnips to Nook's Cranny. It's not the best price, but it's not the worst either. At my coffee stop, I get a chance to see Isabel, and I'm honestly a little starstruck. I take care of today's group stretching and the daily seasonal DIY. Then, time travel to the evening to find some shooting stars and talk to Celeste for another recipe. I spend the rest of our time swimming in the ocean for sea creatures until I catch the spiny lobster for my collection. Day 292 is Friday. I can hardly believe Fall Fitness Week is almost over. Time really flies when there's a theme for the week. After coffee and stretches, tonight is just filled with excitement. I get a visit from Wisp, and I get 2 different seasonal DIYs from popping balloons. Eunice asked to move away, and you already know that I was keeping my fingers crossed for this, so I wish her the best of luck. I complete a treasure hunt for Sparrow, and I send a few postcards at the airport to end out the night. I think it'd be fun to start gifting the villagers some clothing items, shake up their daily outfits. And of course, a final postcard for Eunice. Day 293 is the Fall Fishing Tourney, our final fishing tournament of the year. First, I've got to get my coffee and stretch with the community, and then away we go. I run through 3 rounds of the fishing tournament, and I have indeed hit the 100-point total for the year, so we've earned the fishing tournament trophy. Day 294 is another Wildcard Sunday. And it's Plucky's birthday. I got tired of just giving everyone fossils as gifts, so I actually tried to pick out something that I thought Plucky would like. I hope she enjoys her mermaid lamp. I feel like it will go with her beach-themed interior. I forgot to say goodbye to Eunice yesterday because of the fishing tourney. Alas. That does mean that we're villager hunting today. Our first ticket brings us to Chief. There's literally no way Kyle can handle that kind of competition, so we'll avoid that drama. I will once again be shaking trees at every mystery island because I only need 8 more furniture pieces to finish that achievement. Ticket number 2 turns out to be Boomer. In retrospect, I don't know why I turned him down. He's one of my favorites and the lazies are also cute. I guess I already had it in my head that I'd be spending at least 8 tickets today. This island has no trees to shake, but it does get me a new DIY recipe. Ticket number 3 is Miranda again, but I did get my furniture on the very first shake, so that's kind of cool. Ticket number 4 has Rhonda and no shakeable trees again. Ticket number 5 is Sylvia again. The answer is still no. Ticket number 6 is Fauna again. Why are you toying with me, game? I've kind of dug in at this point. I'm still gonna pass on Fauna. Maybe it's a mistake, but I just want someone unexpected, I guess. Ticket number 7 is Mott. I'm not particularly interested. Ticket number 8 has Ruby. Love her, but she's already on my Capricorn-themed island, which, by the way, you can check out the tour for on my channel. Ticket number 9, I pass on Kevin, but I do learn the Rose Wreath DIY recipe. Ticket number 10 is Audie again. I don't even talk to her. Ticket number 11, I find my furniture piece and finally complete the Shady Shakedown Nook achievement. The villager here is Avery, who I was tempted by pretty strongly, I have to admit. I guess I figured I wanted a lady villager to keep the gender balance on the island, which shouldn't matter, but I don't know, it was a quirk I had. With the achievement out of the way, I'm just rapid-fire villager hunting at this point. I pass on Francine, Tipper, Frigga, Jambette, Zell, Ruby again, Puck, and Admiral. Don't get me wrong, most of these villagers are actually pretty good finds. I couldn't figure out why I was so indecisive. I knew I wanted Eunice gone, but I actually have no idea what I'm looking for to replace her. My final ticket brings me to Claudia, who I know is too vibrant for the island in its current state, even though she's cute. I decide that really, I don't want the responsibility of making the decision for villager number 10. This has already been my longest villager hunt in the entire playthrough, and there's simply no more time. I'm gonna end the day with the KK Slider concert, and we'll let autofill take over. It might be nice to throw a wild card in the mix. On day 295, I start another night week. The Halloween decorations are really popping in the evening, and we're in need of more encounters with Wisp and Celeste. First, it's time to check on our empty plot and see who autofilled. Oh, it's no one. Guess we'll check again tomorrow. There's a meteor shower tonight, so that means we get to find Celeste for one of her recipes. Red is anchored on the North Shore, and he's brought the wistful painting with him again. Do we think it's gonna be real this time? Of course it's not. I hunt unsuccessfully for the new DIYs, but I do see that Plucky has put out her birthday gift mermaid lamp. It looks perfect. My heart melts. I take a boat tour to a 2.0 island and manage to get a new DIY recipe before I tackle the resource rush. Day 296, the night week continues. There's a sold sign on the empty plot, so let's see who we got. Moment of truth. Equal parts excited and terrified. We got Chevra? Okay. I was not expecting that at all, but I'll take it. I tackle the dailies of pumpkins, pine cones, and Halloween candy, and Plucky asked to come over, so I welcome her for the customary sit down in the resident rep office. I spot Sparrow in the rock garden, and he's wearing the sweater I sent him in the mail. He looks so good. I get another visit from Wisp and take another boat tour. After I land another new DIY, I start wood chopping and it finally happens. The rough-hewn achievement is finished. 5,000 pieces of wood chopped. I could cry. Day 297 is another moody October night. First, I've got to greet our newest villager, Chevra. Chevra was one of my favorite villagers on my flower island, but I'm not tired of her yet. I'm happy to make her feel at home here. Tonight I learn a fun new DIY from Gruff with the fruit basket. I run around to check for a night visitor, and since there's no one here, I make the round of disappointments with my message bottle, Red's art inventory, and the DIYs on HHP. I take another boat tour with Captain, and since I'm finally free from my wood chopping burden, I use the time to catch as many fish as I can. Getting to that 2,000 fish caught milestone is definitely going to be my toughest and most time-consuming grind here in the late game. The win of the night, of course, is finally catching the coelacanth. Day 298. I learn spooky cookies from Kyle, get to chatting with new girl Chevra, grab my candy, shake my cedars, and get lucky with the DIY message bottle. I definitely want to catch a good amount of bugs tonight, and I need to craft some more nets and fishing poles to keep up with the critter catching I still need to do. I take a moment to pause and relax with Plucky, we're stinking adorable, and then I go on another boat tour to keep on fishing. Not gonna lie, there's a whole lot of fishing the closer and closer we get to the end of the challenge. And hey look, we learned the round glowing moss rug. Day 299, I see that Nook notification, but we'll get to that tomorrow, you'll see why. Creaky Bones McButch is crafting up a spooky table, and our campsite villager tonight is Dear Margie. You know I love the elephants, and this exquisite cutie is no exception. Obviously, we need to get pine cones and candy, and look how cute this is. Bo is hanging with Chevra so that she can make a new friend on the island. What a sweet guy. Since there's no night visitor, it's off to Captain's boat tour for more fishing. I essentially need to catch 15 fish a day every day from now on in order to get to 2,000. And it's much more time effective to do that on these smaller islands where the fish spawn consistently. This also of course helps us progress towards the boat tour achievement, and we get the chance at a new DIY, which tonight we actually get with apple jam. Today is day 300 of the challenge, and now I can finally claim the last stamp for active island resident. It did actually proc yesterday because of my time travel whoopsies, but we now in fact have sped run 300 Animal Crossing days. I wish I had some more exciting storytelling to spill for this day, but it's really just more of the same pattern that we've had for all of Night Week. DIY hunting, candy, pine cones, and taking a boat tour to catch whatever bugs and fish we can. I do fish up my 20th piece of trash, completing the trash fishing achievement. And of course we've got our Saturday night KK Slider concert. Day 301 is another Wildcard Sunday. We're back in the sunshine, and at this point I'm catching just about every bug that I see. As we get into winter, I know there won't be as many readily available bugs, so I'm making as much progress in that category as I can for the rest of fall. Today I need to keep growing our friendship with Chevra, get back to gifting Gruff to try and earn his photo, and of course pick up another seasonal DIY recipe. I'm also going to invest once again in the turnip market. That 10 million bell profit goal might be out of reach for the challenge, but I still want to keep pushing it along as far as I can. I'm pulling a real wildcard move today. After I harvest all of these cherry and pear trees, I am officially chopping down this stretch of orchard. I still have the smaller pear and cherry orchard on the eastern side of the island, and this will give me space to plant even more cedars for pinecone harvesting and eventually getting ornaments from the lighted trees. This will also allow me to create a cleaner pathway leading to our crop field. And in general, I've never been super thrilled with how busy and cluttered this area feels. It served me well when I was grinding for my fruit selling achievement, but now that that's out of the way, I'm ready to make this area into a much more scenic transition space. Once I get everything cleaned up and make room to plant all the cedar trees, I have officially knocked out another Nook Mile achievement for tomorrow's trees today. There's still some more cleanup and decorating I can do for this space in the future, but honestly, it already gives me a sense of relief. It feels great not having this area look so busy and congested. Day 302 is another Monday, and I've got another theme this week. Peep the diner outfit, we are focused on cooking this week. Gruff is wearing the outfit I sent him in the mail, and it looks terrible. I don't know what I was thinking, it was a real gamble, but I decided to swing big. I should have known. It's impossible to make that outfit look good. I've got turnips on deck, so I'll need to be checking the turnip prices again this week. I'm also not going to be slacking on catching at least 15 fish and 10 bugs every day. Red is visiting us again today, but unfortunately, he doesn't have any art we need. Now it's time to get busy in my cozy green and yellow kitchen and get to cooking. I start by just making a bunch of flour and sugar to have on hand. You know I don't want to make things just for the sake of making them, because that feels bland. So I keep things interesting by specifically trying to cook dishes that I think my villagers would like to receive as gifts. Tomato juice for Sparrow, if you know you know. A nice orange pie for Chevra to welcome her to the island with the taste of our native fruit. A simple brown sugar pound cake for our wholesome normal girl Olive. A pizza margarita for cool guy Kyle, because cool guys like pizza. A sandwich for Butch, because he really appreciates a good old sandwich, and so on. Then I end the day at the airport to send each villager their tasty treat in the mail attached to a postcard. Day 303 was more of the same, dailies and critters and cooking treats for the mail, but I lost the footage for that day, so what can you do? Day 304, our cooking week continues, and I gotta tell you how pleased it makes me to have an excuse to wear the Father's Day apron. The turnip prices are still dropping, so I pick up my candy and look for the daily DIY. I shake for pine cones, get my daily fish and bug requirements, and even pop a balloon that gives me one of those coveted seasonal recipes. Then it's back to the kitchen, y'all. I whip up some more tasty treats to give as gifts, and today I hit the 3rd milestone for miles. Then I head back to the airport to attach everyone's goodies to a postcard. I also time travel to the evening just in case Wisp might be visiting. He isn't, but I do get the chance to give our cranky boy Butch a new catchphrase. Day 305 is Thursday here in our culinary week. When I check in with Chevra, I see that she's put the treats I sent her on display, and it makes me so happy. Today in the kitchen, I'm specifically going through and trying to craft recipes that I haven't made yet. You can tell by the little checks on the cards, but I will say, since all of the cards are different colors, sometimes it's hard to tell which check marks are actually marked and which are grayed out. I gift some cooked treats to whatever villagers I run into in town, and then just sell the rest to Nook's Cranny. I check the turnip prices and the writings on the wall. This is a type 2 full declining pattern this week. But for some reason I ignore this and spend my time instead harvesting more crops to replenish my stock of cooking ingredients. Day 306, our culinary week, continues. At this point I've connected with that insane completionist part of my brain, and I'm actually so engaged and committed to cook every single recipe. I spend some serious time just looking through my recipes to take a mental inventory of what I haven't made yet and which ingredients I need to make that happen. This is the kind of thing that, I don't know, maybe doesn't make for interesting footage, but for me it definitely activates and takes hold of a particular part of my brain. I hadn't even considered that there were recipes I'd forgotten about that require things like bamboo shoots and turnips. Or that it takes all the different pumpkin types to make spooky cookies. I also knock out as many of the recipes I can that require specific fish as ingredients, taking mental inventory again of the fish items I'm missing that I need to hunt down specifically for cooking. I check the turnip prices again to face the harsh truth that I already know. There will be no price increase this week. Since I'm going to be losing money anyway, I go ahead and craft the DIY recipes that require turnips before I sell off the rest. And I accidentally eat a stack of 10 turnips, so I realize this is a great time to finally put my rock garden toilet to use. But then, why is Chevra hanging out here now of all times? No one is ever in the rock garden. Why does it have to be now? I'm sorry, Chevra. Please don't think me less of a lady for this. Finally, of course, I catch my daily bugs and daily fish before I end the day. Day 307 is Saturday, and we're getting a jump start on Halloween week. Costumes galore and plenty of nighttime ghost hunting. Tonight I catch a whole bunch of bugs. There's definitely something cute and satisfying about being a little witch, chasing crickets on a brisk fall evening. I also do the requisite fishing, and catch some of the fish I needed to finish more of those cooking recipes. I bring some medicine to help with Butch's autumn cold, and check out the campsite villager. If Kid is here camping, who's running the HHP apparel shop? After I stop by the KK Slider show, I dive in for a solid session of sea creature hunting. I've been on top of bugs and fish, but I can't forget about these little guys too. I also secure another mermaid recipe tonight from Pascal. Day 308 kicks off the final week of October, which means it's a Halloween week. One day of costumes will never be enough for me. I realize I've been neglecting my mail again, so it's time to clear that out. Between villager gifts and the periodic orders I've been placing with Wardell, I've got a lot of unboxing to do. I make a loop around the island that starts with learning the lily wreath DIY from a message bottle. I catch fish and bugs as I can as I make my way around the path, stopping to shake for my fall pine cones, of course. I actually end up making 2 loops around the island, and I'm feeling really good about the amount of fish I'm catching tonight. The island has really just come together perfectly, in the way that I love the look of it as I run around, but there's no clutter blocking any of my access to catching fish and bugs. I take care of our visit from Wisp and then make a Harv's Island run. Day 309 is another night, another costume. I make the rounds and manage to talk to most of my villagers tonight. I don't want to get so distracted with my other goals that they start being dramatic about not getting enough attention. I'm honestly a little stung to discover that Gruff is already thinking about leaving. Man, you just got here. Another goat moves in and suddenly he can't handle sharing the goat spotlight. I tell him he has to stay. Chevra, can you please tell Gruff to chill? Felicity teaches me the log stool, a recipe I have literally been waiting for. I can't believe it took this long. I get another visit from Wisp, and Gulliver's here too. I know that you need to help Gulliver 30 times to get the golden shovel recipe, but I honestly thought that visits from his pirate alter ego would count too. Apparently they don't, so I can't say whether or not I'll be able to make this achievement happen before the end of the challenge. It looks like Bo's found a new big sister in Chevra, and I couldn't be happier for him. I head back to Harv since it's Monday and the inventory is turned over. Red really hates me at this point, but I guess I'll buy something to make room for something new. I check out the other shops and scoop up my complimentary acorns. It's day 310 and I'm a pirate. Only a couple more days to stock up on Halloween candy. Timmy and Tommy have started wearing their Halloween ears and they are so cute. Gruff still looks great in his hat as well. I collect all of the donations I've gathered for October and hand them over to Blathers in the museum. Then I grab a cup of coffee at the Roost and do some group stretches in the plaza. I craft another round of tools to keep up with the bug and fish catching. I entertain Felicity at my house and make another stop at Harv's to buy more useless art from Red. Day 311, Bo loves my costume tonight. I get a surprise sweater from Sparrow, learn the purple pansy crown DIY, get in some stretches, go on a treasure hunt for Plucky, and pick up the marigold decoration from Nook Shopping. I continue my determined campaign of fishing and catching bugs. There's no nighttime visitor, but can you believe that CJ had the audacity to fake me out by hanging out in Celeste's stargazing area? Nothing left to do today but buy more art that I don't need. Day 312, only one more day until Halloween. Pearl is so excited for the pumpkins and the festivities, she's working herself up into a frenzy. And these party animals are so ready for trick-or-treating, they're tailgating in the plaza. I also like to think that if I speed up the footage of our group stretching session in my zombie costume, it kinda looks like we're doing the dance from the Thriller video. Tonight I do a bit more inventory management by clearing out my manila clams to turn them into fish bait. Looking forward to increasing my storage with the 3.0 update, because I'm right at the limit. Definitely not helped by the fact that I keep on buying excess art. Thanks a lot, Red. Day 313 is Halloween. I can barely make it out my front door before Kyle is already screaming for his candy. Animal Crossing has a truly intense and aggressive trick-or-treating culture, I gotta say. Luckily, I've been preparing for this night. I give Kyle his candy and he teaches me the scare reaction. The Halloween decorations look great tonight, and in the plaza we find Jack, the reigning czar of Halloween. Wow, is that really what he calls himself? This man is even more obsessed with candy than the villagers. After I feed his craving, I earn Jack's robe and learn a new reaction. All the villagers tonight are being very precious, very pushy, and very unhinged as they don their costumes and harass me for candy. They do reward me with fun Halloween items and recipes, and lollipops to feed Jack's insatiable candy cravings. By the end of the night, I earn Jack's face and the rest of the spooky DIY recipes. And in general, just have a silly sugar high filled night with all our friends. Also, Sparrow wears his vampire outfit tonight with some green devil horns. What more could I ask for? I was actually going to be mad if he didn't wear it the one night where it was appropriate to do so. I can't resist bringing everyone together in their costumes for some group stretching at the end of the night, and stopping by the Roost to spread some Halloween spirit to Brewster. Day 314 marks the first day of November. I'm going to start by taking down some Halloween decorations, And a very easy way to turn the rest into generic fall decorations is just, turn the jack-o'-lantern face to the back. I catch whatever bugs I see as I mosey around town fixing the decorations, because I can feel that 2,000 caught mark just within reach. And the sooner I get there, the sooner I only have to worry about fish and sea creatures. I tidy up the plaza, and now it feels like November instead of Halloween. Then I head to Butch's house because it's our boy's birthday today. Of course, I brought a present for the birthday boy. Butch looks so dapper, and Kyle is actually killing me in that top hat. It's so him. I settle into a classic island loop, and as I shake my cedars to check for pine cones, I spot the very first mushrooms of the season. I'm pretty excited to have a new seasonal foraging task to shake things up. It's these little details that help me appreciate the passage of time element that has been such a joyful component of this playthrough. Over 300 hours in on this island now, and I've been able to watch it grow and evolve through the changing seasons. It's just kind of beautiful and rewarding to watch. On my loop today, I tend to some much needed weeding and, of course, keep on catching bugs. The message bottle today gives us a new cooking recipe, and then I set my sights on catching at least 15 fish for the day, followed by as many sea creatures as I can catch before the time limit is done, leaving just enough time to end the day with our Saturday KK concert. Day 315, Isabel starts our day with a mushroom DIY recipe. So excited to have these recipes added to the mix. I feel like I've been waiting for them all year. I feel bad that Olive has to garden in a weed-filled yard, so I clean that up for her. Sparrow is cute, and Kyle teaches me to make pear pie. On my loop, I focus on grinding more bugs and fish, collecting the seasonal mushrooms, a bit more weed cleanup, and shaking for pine cones. Now that these cedars are fully grown in, I decide to tackle a build today to make this area feel a little more intentional. Since it's a transition to our giant agriculture space, I want to put in a cozy little farm-to-table eating spot. We've got a rustic log table and the classic mixed chair setup. Very particular about how to make that pop. And I really should have done the chairs last because now I have to move them to put down all my food items. I've been doing lots of cooking, so there are plenty of dishes to choose from. And on the other side, a little outdoor cooking and prep space. Farm to table. And now that I finally have some mushrooms, I'm able to knock out a few more of the cooking recipes I haven't made yet. Day 316 is another crisp and lovely fall day, and we hit the ground running with some group stretches to kick things off. I realize that my pockets are still full of bugs from yesterday, so I sell them off at Nooks. With my storage still so close to capacity these days, there's really no point in saving the daily bugs and fish I'm grinding to wait for Flick or CJ. I pop by to say hello and give some carrots to the two newest villagers, the goats who just happened to end up as neighbors. Actually, I realized the cats have ended up as neighbors too. That's a fun coincidence. I've got a real rhythm going at this point as I sink into the familiar loop, catching every fish and bug that I spot, in addition to the fun new task of hunting for mushrooms. I'm also tuned in to any balloons that appear, because I know I'm getting so close on that particular achievement. As I go about my cozy loop, I incidentally manage to complete a few Nook Plus tasks for the day, including when I sell some things to Nooks to empty my pockets. I'm still trying to stay mindful at this point that I want this to be a challenge, not a grind. The achievements are driving my daily time management, but only so long as it still feels organic and joyful in some sense. It's a balance. I was worried I would get burned out striving for the Critter Achievement 4th stamps, but so far things are in a good rhythm. I've been building this island flow gradually for so long now that here in November, I feel like I'm reaping the benefits with such a calming daily routine. The island is aesthetically pleasing as I do my chores, and everything feels accessible. I like how this island breathes, if that makes sense. Pearl invites us to her house, and you already know at this point I'm a really yes man when it comes to villager requests, so we spend some time with our snooty girlie. Then I use quite a bit of fish bait on the beach to try and catch the November blowfish, before realizing that I got the times wrong and this fish isn't even available at this time. But oh well, there's still so much fishing that needs to be done for this challenge. I've got time to make a run to Harv's Island where I buy more fake art and get my free acorns. On a whim, I also drop in to get a fortune reading from Katrina, just to see if I might get a belongings luck buff, which ensures I could get a rare island from Captain. But I get a bad luck omen instead, and I totally forgot about this mechanic of the game that allows you to purchase a purification from Katrina. It's been so long since I've done this. Obviously, we're going to get purified. Day 317, I'm starting our Tuesday nice and late so that I can catch the blowfish. I run into Plucky in the plaza, and she suggests a terrible new nickname for me. After deliberating with my Twitch chat for a minute, we land on Kitty Girl instead, because my partner and I have been rewatching Drag Race, and that just happened to be a point of discussion today. I remember that I still need to change my outfit for the day, and then it's time to put our fish bait to work and hunt for the blowfish. This is the last fish I need to catch for my Critterpedia. And catching it was such a monumental moment, I figured, let me just play it for you exactly the way it unfolded on stream. Oh my god. Oh my god, this is huge. Wait a minute. That means... Woohoo! I've caught all the fish. You'd think I'd have a pun for this occasion. Let's freaking go. Island ichthologist, complete. Complete. We've caught every fish. And you know what we're gonna do now? Well, first I gotta catch that bug. Don't come this close to me if you don't want to get caught. Come here. Now we're going to pick that up so I don't forget. Oh, message bottle. Oh, Kyle is singing and blessing the message bottle. I hope that means it's going to be something we don't already have. Simon the smart guy has sent us a DIY recipe, and I think I already have this one, and I do. Great. Kyle, you did nothing for us. Okay. We're going to take these and donate them to the museum. How may you be of service? Well, you could take these off my hands. He's going to be so excited. He's going to be so proud of us. What? What? Oh no. Oh no, you guys. This is bad. This is bad. This means that there's a fish that we didn't donate. Oh no. I hope it's not out of season. Oh my god. Okay. Oh no. Oh no. I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out. Okay, hang on. Ah! The sweet fish. Shit. Shit. Sorry for swearing, but I'm not really. This is an 18+ stream. Shit. Oh no. Oh my god, this is heartbreaking. Are you kidding me? Oh no. The sweet fish is out of season, you guys. It's all over. I'm a failure. End of challenge. End stream. End challenge. Run it back. Back to January. We have to start all over. We have to start all over. We have to restart the whole challenge. Oh my god, I can't believe I did that. I never donated the sweet fish. And it's out of season. Okay. 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 Alright. Okay. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do my other dailies. And I'm gonna think on it. I'm gonna consult Reddit. Probably do a little research. Sometimes you can catch out of season fish on special islands with Captain's Boat Tours, I wanna say. Okay. All hope is not lost. I might have a work around. So, yeah, that happened. The agony I felt in the moment took a while to fade, but it was rekindled when I started editing part 2 and I saw just how many times I caught the sweet fish. How many opportunities I had to finish my museum properly. I carried on with some nightly tasks, but the disappointment did keep coming back to haunt me, as you can tell. So, there is another achievement that we can chase tonight. We're gonna shake it off. You know, it's fine. It's fine. I just ruined everything. It's like totally fine. I can't believe I forgot to donate the sweet fish. Like, I can't believe. Anyway. So we're gonna catch bugs because I love to do that. And what is it called? Let's check and see. Wispy Island Secrets. And so we're gonna check the island and see if he showed up tonight. Sweet fish. Sweet fish. Who would have thought that would be my downfall? The decorating that we did earlier on stream, I love it. It's great. Simple. I love it. Cute. Look at the sky tonight from our stargazing cliff. That's low-key beautiful. Oh, Pearl has a thought bubble. Oh no, what's she thinking? Okay, girl, talk to me. What's up? What's up? What's happening? Oh no, there's this thing I've been considering and I wondered if you might be able to help. Have you ever considered— oh, she wants to move. She wants to leave the island. No, thank you. Do not leave. Honestly, girl, I'm offended you even asked. Traditional balancing toy. Okay, it's a recipe I don't have. That's great. Oh yeah, I forgot about mushrooms. Okay, I need to get over it. I'm still stewing about messing up my museum. And I need to let that go. The challenge must go on. Po Buddy's nerfed. I can't believe I did that. What a fool. There still might be a workaround. We'll see. We'll see. Excuse me, ladies. Excuse me. Excuse me. Can I even— oh my god. They're so busy talking. What's with the sour face, Pearl? You alright? I'm trying to figure out how to give Honeycake a more fashionable touch, but I think I have my work cut out for me. Rude. We've got soothing waves, fresh air, rockin' neighbors. I love Plucky. She's more elegant. What? Oh my god. Oh no. Oh my god. The girls are fighting. I just think you could stand to dress a touch more stylish. Look at her face right now. Oh my god. A little bit less punk rock, a bit more opera. That's all I mean. Oh no. Listen close, Pearl, because I don't want to have to repeat myself. Honeycake's just about perfect how it is. Around here, some folks are fancy, some aren't. You just gotta let them be who they are. If you go around trying to change everyone, you're just gonna make them angry. Cut Honeycake some slack, and everyone, even you, will be a lot happier for it, Groovy. Wow. Wow. And she said all that after she was trying to leave. Damn, Pearl. The drama. Okay. And back to crafting. Wait, what? Did I not confirm it? Oh my god. I can't think straight. I'm so mad about the museum. And the stupid sweet fish. To be fair, this is the first time I've used the Dropbox in this entire challenge. Confirm. Sell. Imagine bulk crafting. Imagine. It's okay, we gotta bounce back. Oh my god. I just keep thinking about it. I just keep thinking about how I triumphantly marched into my museum thinking that Blathers was going to pat me on the back. Congratulations, Ktabulous, you've completed the fish. No. Dash dreams. Normally I would give, you know, a speech about how, you know, we learn from failure and failure's good, but I don't know, man. I feel like we should cue up that that Linkin Park song. I tried so hard. I got so far. And in the end, it doesn't even matter. Failure feelings, that's true. Okay. I'm going to toss a Hail Mary here. I'm just gonna check. Sometimes I put things in storage and I forget about them. So what if there's a world where I have a sweet fish in my inventory for some reason that I haven't sold, and I don't. It's fine. Okay. Okay. It's totally cool. It's totally fine. keep on grinding. Keep on grinding. Come to me, little fishy. Okay, let's see. What time did I start this day? 10:05, and it is 10:31. Okay, we're only 25 minutes in. Okay. Come here. Well, you know what? Here's the silver lining. At least we got the achievement. The museum, maybe not totally finished, but we did get the achievement. So that's something. I think we're going to do some group stretches. We're going to make everyone in the island come out for some 10:30 evening stretches. And that will help us relax. If anyone's been sitting in the same position for too long, it's a great reminder to stretch. Okay, good job, gang. Pearl, I'm a little mad at you right now. Don't make me hate you, Pearl. I want to love you. Okay, I think we're also going to... We're gonna go grab a cup of coffee. Drown our sorrows. Consult our barista. Brewster. You still love us, right? Right? You're not disappointed in us for not finishing the aquarium? Okay, I'm gonna pull up Reddit. How to catch an out-of-season fish. Animal Crossing New Horizons. Time travel. No, no, no. Oh, okay. Found a Reddit thread. Catching fish out of their seasonality. Weird way to word that, but okay. If you landed on a seasonal Captain Island, it's possible. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Thank you for the coffee. Well, what the heck? It's important to soldier on. So stretching, drinking coffee, those are all things that contribute to Nook Mile achievements. So that was productive. And now we are going to go on a captain boat tour. That's going to be what we do to end out the night. And I don't know, maybe by some miracle he will take us to an island where I can catch a sweet fish. I don't know. July, August, September. So it's like late summer, early fall. I don't know. I guess if we went to a summer island, worth a chance. Worth taking a chance. Sorry, babe, I do not have time to listen to your song. Okay. Looks like a regular island to me. Oh, it does have holly, though. Ooh. Uh-oh, our friend of the stream, Corey Tomato, is apparently playing Animal Crossing on his Switch. We should have him time travel on his island because he's not doing a challenge. And he should catch a sweet fish and bring it to us. I think that could still work within the confines of the challenge. And also, that's an achievement. Having a certain number of people come visit your island is also an achievement. So actually, he's probably already updated his game. I don't know if we can play together if I haven't updated. I can't, no. Dang it. Dang it. That's okay. We're thinking outside the box though, and that's a good start. The thing is, no matter how distraught you are, you gotta keep fishing. I have to catch so many fish. This, however, is a big deal. That's okay. We'll just keep trying Captain Islands, and hopefully we'll get a summer island. And if we don't, we don't. The challenge is to complete as much as possible. And if it's not possible, it's just not possible. We still enjoyed the journey. Come here. Come here, little bug. Day 318, I carry on with the challenge. Pause to appreciate Olive being super cute per usual. I go around the island looking for spots where I can plant the holly bushes I harvested from yesterday's captain tour. Of course, catching any and all bugs I spot along the way. My brain has become hot-wired at this point to clock every bug. It's become a whole thing. Flick is on the island, so I take the opportunity to clear some bugs out of my storage. No idea why Flick is literally hanging out on this hidden back cliff, but okay, King, stay mysterious. Then I lock into swimming for sea creatures. Obviously, I'm content to catch as many of these guys as I can, because that 1,000 critters caught is a milestone I'm striving for. But the main objective for logging in the evening hours tonight is to catch our very last sea creature, the sea pig. This is not an easy one to catch. It's fairly rare and it's very fast. But I do manage to catch him tonight eventually. If it's not the guy, I'm gonna be so mad. It's a fucking sea pig! Oh my god! Wait, this means... Wahoo! I've completed my diving collection. That's deep. Real deep. I really didn't think it was gonna happen. I was like, I'm gonna have to time travel again. I wasted all this time. Underwater understudy complete. And then, when I head to the museum to hand it over to Blathers, this happens. I swear to God. Might I interest you in a few fascinating facts? No. No. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, I was about to freak out. Okay, it's done. Yes. Hoot huzzah, I say hooray, and most importantly, thank you. What a win it is to have the ocean's many splendored wonders here for all to gaze upon. Yay. Okay, I feel vindicated. That definitely cheers me up after the aquarium snafu. Whew. What a night. Yeah, so thank God no mistakes with the sea creatures. We have successfully completed that portion, and that's one more achievement we don't have to worry about. But how insane would that be if it happened a third time? Oh, is it just a bunch of bullshit, Red? Is it just a bunch of bullshit, Red? My visit to Harv's Island is, fruitless once again. And then I move on to Happy Home Paradise. I don't find any new DIYs, but I do take the time to enjoy the DJ KK rave and party with the vacationers. Day 319, we continue with another November evening and start straight away with some group stretching. I tend to this drunk pirate and then have a sweet coffee date with Chevra at the Roost. Pearl teaches me the spaghetti Neapolitan recipe, which I don't need, but I'm bringing it up because I literally have received 5 copies of this recipe at this point. It was the first cooking recipe I ever learned, and I just think that's funny. I buy more art I don't need from Red, and see Katrina for another fortune telling. Now that I desperately need a summer island from Captain's Boat Tours, I'm willing to try for that belongings luck buff. I get good fortune today, but unfortunately it's only for health. I've still got to try my daily boat tour, of course, though. I don't get a summer island, but obviously I'm still going to catch some fish and luckily even get a new DIY recipe. I head to the airport to send off another round of postcards. I go for some one-word, mostly monosyllabic messages today. Just whatever singular word pops into my head for each of my villagers. I spend the rest of the time I have with a little island loop action, just catching critters and chatting with my community. I do find Sparrow's lost workout notebook. He's always losing that thing. But I never managed to find him tonight. I end the day by checking our progress on those critter goals. We're doing okay, I think. Day 320 is a Friday evening, and I almost immediately get recruited by Kyle for a request. Because he and Gruff have been having some communication breakdowns. I deliver the gift to Gruff, a spicy little athletic top, and then carry on with the regular tasks for the day. We catch our critters and collect our mushrooms. I finally learn another new DIY recipe from the message bottle, and I get a wisp visit, so I hunt down his spirit pieces. Red pays us a visit, but he doesn't actually have anything I need. I'm also able to stop by Sparrow's place to return his missing notebook. Boy would lose his head if it wasn't attached. I do some community stretches and make a coffee stop, getting rewarded with a cute Captain cameo. I take my daily boat tour in hopes of a rare summer island, but since I don't get that, I just catch some more fish. Once I make it back home to the island, I check our progress towards the next sea critter milestone. There's a solid chunk of work to do there. So I dedicate the rest of today's time limit to deep sea diving. We'll be jumping ahead a bit to day 325, midway into the second week of October. I gave myself a little fall break from recording, playing through a few days of the challenge off camera in handheld mode while relaxing in bed. It was my IRL birthday, I'm allowed. The most significant thing that happened was finally popping balloon number 300 to finish the It's Raining Treasure achievement. And that also means getting the recipe for the golden slingshot. I focused entirely on grinding those critter catching goals, and today, on November 12th, I'm back to most of the same. The 2,000 fish is the one I'm still most worried about, but we're catching bugs like crazy, so I'm feeling confident there. Can we just appreciate how overwhelmingly orange it is on this fall day at this sunset hour? Butch is sick again already. My guy, you need to take it easy, like I taught you. I assist our dear boy Gulliver once again, and humor Bo when he invites me to come over and hang out. Then I take another lengthy dip in the ocean to catch as many sea creatures as I can for the day. Day 326 is another cozy fall day of collecting those daily fish, mushrooms, and bugs. I also spot these two cuties hanging out together, having a good old time, and I put in my peacemaker duties to patch up a misunderstanding between Pearl and Felicity. Our campsite villager today is weird little Ricky. I swear, the squirrels, they just flock to me. The pear and cherry orchard is positively buzzing with activity. And I learn a new recipe from the DIY message bottle. I go heavy today again on the sea creature catching, spending about half of my time limit just swimming and snatching. Day 327, and I can't resist continuing to wear orange and start my day in the golden hour. This is peak Animal Crossing fall energy. I make my standard loop for bugs, fish, and mushrooms, and the message bottle provideth once again with another new recipe. There's still like 300 recipes that I need, but every new discovery is greatly appreciated. I do my stretches with the community, and make a coffee stop with Brewster where I get a rare Celeste sighting. This visit also cements my 50th Roost stop, so I have now officially completed the Come Home to the Roost Nook Miles achievement. I'm feeling very autumnal, so I stop by the airport to send out some postcards and attach a ripe pumpkin as a gift to each one. Then I time travel to the evening hours because if Celeste stops by the Roost, that means she'll be out and about tonight for shooting stars. Sadly though, I can't seem to actually find her, so I just keep on making the loop to catch more bugs and fish. I also get a request from Kyle to hang out at my house, and I finally get a new painting on offer from Red's boat. Day 328 brings the second week of November to a close. I start out the evening with the obligatory KK Slider concert, and then I knock out some more group stretching. I do another hardcore session of catching as many sea creatures as I can, and spend a little time on the beach to get more fishes caught. Day 329, Isabel lets us know that maple leaf season has begun. It has come to my attention that the flea leaves at the end of November, and I'm still 2 catches away from completing the Flea Flicker Nook Mile achievement. There's really no way to force these occurrences, but I can at the very least focus on checking in with all of my villagers more diligently, and hope that one of them is infested with fleas. Kind of a dark thing to manifest, but here we are. I get to experience the increasingly rare excitement of finding a new DIY recipe when Kyle teaches me how to make a low wooden table. And you already know there's gonna be another cozy loop, and we're gonna catch all the bugs and fish that we can along the way. And of course, scoop up those fall mushrooms, and now collect the falling maple leaves. I also find a lost bag along my walk that I eventually manage to return to Sparrow. This boy is literally always losing things, but we love him all the same. And then it's time to catch more sea creatures. Day 330 is just more immaculate fall vibes. They really knew what they were doing with the colors and the lighting in this game. I catch Butch taking a sweet little hammock nap on the beach, but of course as soon as I try to take a picture, he gets up and spoils the whole moment. I catch my critter quotas and collect all of my mushrooms. Again, these fall colors are just so beautiful. I also decide to do a little peach tree harvest and take advantage of our outdoor cooking area to whip up a few batches of peach jam that I can sell to Nook's Cranny. I still think I can push to hit that next cooking achievement milestone, so I harvest some crops from the farm and turn them into items I can use to decorate this picnic area here by the river on the Market Avenue. I relish in watching Gruff take a nap in the middle of the plaza, what a sweet, silly guy, and get back to shaking for pine cones, since I realize fall is going to be over soon. It's Monday, so I squeeze in a Harv's Island run at the end of the day to check the new inventory. Red's got nada once again. And so I play the foolish game of buying his fake art to shift the inventory for another chance tomorrow. Day 331, the air is alive with falling maple leaves, and Kyle and I do a little vibe session by the river. Gruff tries to leave again, but that's a no-go. This close to the end of the challenge, I don't think I'm emotionally prepared to get to know a new villager. So this is the in-game lineup. I pick up a lost item while I'm making my daily loop of fish, bugs, mushrooms, and pine cones, so I get that back to our girl Plucky. I spent a pretty big chunk of time today doing more completionist cataloging stuff, methodically going through my DIY recipes and figuring out which ones are craftable. One of the biggest quality of life upgrades in the 3.0 update has got to be the ability to craft directly from the materials in storage. But of course, I didn't have that for the challenge, so it's a whole lot of checking recipes and pulling out materials. I put some of my seasonal crafting to use right away to add some fall-colored leaf piles to the walkway. Day 332, the gorgeous colors have me feeling inspired to do a little flower cleanup and add some decorative touches around the island loop. As the finish line of the challenge steadily comes into view, I know that I want to end it with an island that has a satisfying and complete look to it. Honeycake has come a long way. But now I can really hone in on the areas that just need a little extra TLC. Small touches that have popped into my head before, but I didn't always take the time to add them. In particular, I want to tidy up this market area and finally add some more items so that the stalls really feel like they're open for business. I also get stopped by Olive to create a secret greeting, so I teach her to say, "What's up, Buttercup?" Day 333 is November 20th, and it's Sparrow's birthday today. I know I have to prepare him a very special present, so I steal from Olive's garden and whip up some tomato juice. If you know, you know. And then we head over to Sparrow's place to celebrate his birthday. I love you, you little weirdo. Next, it's time to keep fleshing out the decorative elements around the island. These villagers are always walking around eating soup, so I put together a little soup party in the pumpkin patch. I still tend to my critter catching duties as I make the loop, stopping every so often to add small details here and there wherever I see something that could use that extra touch. The fossils spawning in random places has become a bit of an eyesore on these daily walks, and since I don't need to do any more fossil assessments for the time being, I bury 6 of them in a centralized location on the back cliff to keep new ones from spawning. I give Gruff a fresh pumpkin to deter any thoughts he might have about trying to leave again. Then I run into Gullivar, and after I find his communicator, I keep hunting for sea creatures for a while until I run into Pascal. Then I time travel to the evening and complete another run-in with Wisp. Day 334, I run into Bo thinking in the plaza. He wants to change his catchphrase to look cool to his new big sister Chevra, but I'm sticking to my guns on this one. You're fine the way you are. I also say hey to a few other villagers since so many of them are out and about enjoying the fall weather. Then it's on to the daily loop and putting the work in to catch my daily requirement of catching all types of critters. I do another round of crafting and add some more autumnal touches to our town plaza. Then I time travel to the evening and get another recipe from Celeste. Day 335, Isabel announces that next week we'll be celebrating Turkey Day. Felicity's mouth is already watering at the prospect of all that yummy food. I give some gifts to our 2 goat villagers, the only ones I still need to get photos from. I do the daily DIY hunt and finally get a new cooking recipe for coconut oil from Bo. I follow my scenic daily loop to keep those bugs and fishes adding up. And I get a cute encounter spotting Olive doing her research at the critter shop stall that I just finished decorating. I say hello to the campsite villager Flora, and then dive in to catch more sea creatures. Then it's time for the KK show, followed by a late night group stretch. Day 336, we're starting the final week of November. Time to check in with the progress that's been made with all the daily critter grinding. Still quite a few more fish to catch. An intimidating number, to be honest. But less than 300 bugs and 250 sea creatures remain. So the daily critter grind continues. I've also got to make the most of collecting pine cones, mushrooms, and maple leaves before the season ends. I pre-wrap a bunch of fossils to have on hand for gifts as I continue to try daily to get a photo from Gruff and Chevra. I also continue adding more decorating details, bit by bit. I definitely want the island to look its best if there's a professional chef coming next week. I do another fruit harvest to do another quick batch of cooking, and have Kyle over for a meeting in the office. I time travel to the evening and complete another quest for Wisp, get face to face with a tarantula, and get recruited to patch things up between Olive and Butch. Day 337 is another standard routine at this point. I give out gifts, catch fish, catch bugs, hunt for DIYs, gab with miscellaneous villagers, and play the pointless game of trying to manipulate Red's inventory for usable art donations. Pearl has the audacity to ask to leave again, so I have to shut that down. And I get in another short round of cooking. Then I time travel to check for any night visitors. When I find Wisp and finish his spirit quest once again, I have now officially completed the Nook category for Wispy Island Secrets. Day 338 is another beautiful day, and the nice weather seems to have Pearl singing a completely different tune about how she feels about Honeycake today. She's a little unpredictable. I get back to the critter catching grind, the giving of goat gifts, and the endless hunt for new DIYs. I've got triple action for villager requests today, as I have to smooth over another fight between Butch and Bo, return a lost journal to Chevra, and let Kyle come hang out again. I'm telling you, he's obsessed with me. Day 339, we've only got one more day before Turkey Day. After I do my loop and get the daily critter catching out of the way, I stop by Red's boat and pick up a new piece of art, finally. Then I head to the airport for a special round of postcards. In the spirit of Thanksgiving, I'll be sending a quick message to each of my villagers, telling them what they bring to the island that I'm grateful for. Thanks for the cuteness overload, Bo. Thanks for those sideburns, Gruff. Thanks for being around the longest, Sparrow. Thanks for always serving, Felicity. Thanks for being my stalker, Kyle. For being my fishing buddy, Butch. For all the down-home realness, Plucky. For the sass and keeping me on my toes, Pearl. And thank you, Chevra, for joining us as villager number 10 on the home stretch of the challenge. Day 340 is Turkey Day. I'm dressed in my fancy fall best for our harvest meal. I have to check in with all of the villagers in the plaza. I just love how precious everyone looks, dressed in their fancy dinner clothes. They're having such a good time. Then it's time to touch base with Franklin, our professional chef, and complete all of his required fetch quests to get the ingredients he needs to cook our Turkey Day feast. Luckily, I have most of what he needs on hand, so we cook up most of the dishes right away. I only have to do a little fishing and a little bit of trading with the villagers to get all the final components, to not only finish all 4 dishes, but get those extra ingredients to make each one sparkle. The villagers' bellies are full, and Franklin gives me the reward of all the Turkey Day DIY recipes. With a little extra time that I have, I make another round of tools to have on deck, including plenty of flimsy axes. To get the golden axe recipe, you have to break 100 axe tools, and I naively assumed that I would naturally do that throughout the course of chopping 5,000 pieces of wood, but I'm not quite there yet. I should have been using flimsy axes all along to increase their rate of breakage, but my plan now is to just harvest my rock garden daily with flimsy axes to try and get 100 total broken eventually. Day 341, I'm glad I'm bundled up properly because we're already seeing our first snowflakes on the island. December is just around the corner, and soon the mushrooms and pine cones will be gone. I'm not letting up on my daily critter catching, and I can feel myself inching closer to those 4th stamp milestones. I do another round of pre-wrapping and prepping fossils to give as gifts, and I'm just laying them out here by the workstation because I truly just need to clear out some space in my storage. To clear up even more inventory space, I finally tackle the tedious but necessary task of going through all my clothing items and pulling out all the duplicates or things that I truly don't want, and sell them off to Nook's Cranny. Butch and Bo have somehow gotten into another fight already. I don't know what those boys get up to, honestly, so I've got to smooth all that over. The last present Butch gave Bo was the delivery jacket, and today it's a cafe outfit, so I don't know. Maybe Butch thinks this silly little boy needs to get a job or something. I returned to Harv's Island to visit Red, and he still hasn't brought me a real copy of the Valiant statue. At this point, I have to throw up my hands. I've lost patience with trying to game his corrupt system, and I just have to give up for this week. The art section for the museum might be slow going, but this is a forever island ultimately, so we'll get there someday. Day 342 is another Saturday night, which means it's time for another KK Slider concert. I continue my plan of harvesting the rock garden until I break another axe, and then I make the rounds through the usual tasks. Still catching bugs, still hunting fruitlessly for DIYs, still gifting Chevra and Gruff, but no photos yet. I also find a notebook that I return to Pearl, and pay proper homage to appreciating how cute Chevra is, just sitting in the flowers on the side of the road with her book. I spend most of tonight getting in a solid session of sea creature catching, leaving me by the end of the night with only 30 more to hit my next milestone. One more solid dive and I should have it knocked out. Day 343 is the last day of November, and boy am I sore from all that swimming. I try to join this workout club in the plaza, but they just kind of stare at me. So, rude, guys. I give gifts to the goats and greet our campsite villager. It's Olivia. She's cute. I make my loop for the usual things. And I really just spend all of today focusing on bugs and fish. Mostly fish. There are so many fish I still need to catch. The next bug milestone is actually pretty close. But even after all my fishing today, I'm pretty overwhelmed by how many more I need when I check my progress at the end of the day. Day 344 is the first day of December. We have finally arrived at the last month of the challenge. Nook's Cranny has started stocking toy items to get ready for Toy Day. My gifting pays off today when Gruff finally gives me his photo to put on display in the yard. Now I only need one from Chevra. It's a Monday, so I check to see Red's new inventory. There's nothing here, and I can't be bothered to play the inventory roulette this week. I complete a home visit for Felicity, help repair Gulliver's communicator, do another round of stretches, and of course, I keep on fishing. Day 345, I keep on fishing. I also catch some bugs and a few sea creatures. I find a sick Sparrow and convince Plucky not to move away from the island. Red's visiting and he has no new art, but I can pick up some of his furniture items. And then, hey, why not some fishing? Day 346, we've got a few more teasing snowflakes to mark the coming of colder weather. I forgot about Sparrow's medicine, so let me fix that today. I do some shopping with Kix and give another gift to Chevra. Then it's back to the loop. I've got a pretty clear idea of which milestones I still need to finish, but fishing is the only one that I know I need to work overtime on. The other remaining goals will come into place pretty smoothly throughout the last stretch of the challenge. I take another shot with a boat tour to try and get a summer island for the sweetfish, but no such luck. Just more standard critter grinding. And fortunately, another new DIY recipe. I've been updating my spreadsheet and I'm curious to see just how many I get before the end of the challenge. On day 347, I decide to finally take advantage of the golden fishing rod recipe I got for completing the Critterpedia section. It's clear I need to have the best quality rods to continue this fishing grind. I'm worried that Butch and Bo might be getting into another one of their classic arguments, but it looks like Butch is just passing along his catchphrase. I'm glad they're playing nice. Bo actually ends up taking a lot of my attention today. After I give Chevra her daily gift and make my first island loop of critter catching, I get stopped by him to come over for a little visit. Then once I get back to work on another loop, I get stopped by Felicity to deliver a present to Bo. It's the fast food outfit. Bo keeps ending up with these uniforms as gifts, and it makes me feel like I need to build him a little snack stand in the future. It's clearly his calling. I go on another boat tour and I do get a rare island, but not the one I need. It's a cherry blossom island. I catch plenty of fish and a pretty good amount of bugs too, leaving me just 40 bugs away from the next milestone. Day 348 is another Friday. Obviously, most of today is dedicated to more fishing. I also make time to cook up a few more dishes fresh from the farm and wearing down my axe by harvesting the rock garden. I give Chevra her gift, and greet the campsite villager. It's Doc. Day 349 is another Saturday night. My outfit tonight is specifically in honor of Cool Guy Kyle, because it's his birthday today. After I visit him to celebrate, this marks another milestone for the birthday celebration achievement. I attend the KK Slider concert as usual, collect a few more bugs, give Chevra her gift, and fish the night away. On day 350, we're moving on to the second week of December. This challenge is so close to being finished. I keep working on my current priorities of gifting Chevra, catching fish, trying to break axes, completing villager quests, group stretching, and bug catching. And today's the day that I finally catch bug number 2000. Day 351, I take care of a little mailbox management. Honestly, who has time to check their mail when the days only last an hour or less? I throw away some of the useless fake art from Red for the sake of my storage, and this might surprise you, but I do some more fishing. I also decide that I finally need to take care of these pansies that have been sitting on the beach ever since I rearranged my flower field. I do want a decently finished looking island when we hit December 31st, so might as well get this taken care of. I have to tell Felicity she's not allowed to move away. These people did not get the memo. There will be no more move-outs before the end of the challenge. I take another boat tour with Captain and I finally get another rare island. But it's a winter island, so no sweet fish available for us here. Might as well keep on fishing. Day 352, the snow's coming down again. Today's the last day for a while that we'll be able to see our grass. I give Chevra her gift and incidentally check in with several other villagers as well, while I hunt for the daily DIY lesson. I find Gullivar passed out on the beach, and in addition to looking for his communicator, I keep catching sea creatures until I finally hit that 1000 mark. Another milestone achieved. I also go once again on a boat tour. Checking each day is the only hope I have at this point to complete my museum aquarium. I don't get my summer island, but obviously the fishing grind must go on. I've grown a little numb to finding cooking recipes, because at this point I have nearly all of them, but here I actually do secure a new one. Day 353, the snow is back again. We started this island in the snow, and here we are again, 350-ish hours later. What a journey. Full circle. Chevra is still stubbornly refusing to give me her photo. I get multiple opportunities for villager quests today. I find a lost bag that ends up belonging to Gruff. I get invited over for a visit by Butch, and Sparrow asks me to find him a wharf roach. I do want that next Smile Isle milestone real bad, but I never end up finding a wharf roach. And let's be real, I've got to be using my time for catching more fish. My daily boat tour doesn't bring me a summer island, a new DIY, or even a wharf roach, so it's just more fishing for me. Day 354, I'm starting to feel those festive season vibes, and I get a villager quest dropped right at my doorstep with this lost item. I'm still trying to get Chevra's photo, and I return the lost bag to Felicity. We've got a campsite villager today, and it's Punchy, my beloved. I love this cat. I also can't believe I get yet another new cooking recipe from Gruff today. There's plenty of fishing today. Do I even need to say it? I already need to craft more golden fishing rods. That's how much fishing I've been doing. And I take another boat tour with Captain. Still no summer island, but there will be fishing, and hey, we love to see a new DIY recipe. Day 355 is a very chilly evening, but we've got to start after 6 p.m. today so that we can attend the KK Slider concert. I keep schmoozing Chevra and making the island loop for daily fish. I also need to do another round of inventory cleanout. So I go through all my clothing items once again and pull out a sizable amount to sell off to Nook's Cranny. Then it's time for a captain tour and continuing the fish grind. I'm just under 200 fish away from my milestone, which is still a lot, but I'm getting excited that it's at least getting closer. Day 356 is another typical honey cake day. Gruff needs to be talked down from trying to leave. I find Plucky getting to know Chevra better when I come to drop off the daily present. I hunt for my daily DIYs, come through message bottle. I also harvest the peach trees to do another round of cooking. At this point, I realize just how close I am to the next cooking milestone. So I dedicate time to cooking some of the new recipes I've gotten in the past few weeks. Then I grind out a few more rounds of flour and sugar, which will honestly save me some inventory space too. And that caps off the 4th milestone for miles. I try my luck with another Captain Island and fish until the day ends. Day 357 is halfway through December. I get my first holiday DIY recipe from the daily villager lesson. I get another recipe from popping a balloon, and I even get gifted a festive wreath when I see Pearl on the street. Today I talked to Tom Nook about renovating the exterior of my house, because I'm just one house renovation away from completing another Nook milestone achievement. I pop my new festive wreath on the door and get to work on a new seasonal daily task, shaking the decorated trees to collect ornaments for crafting. I take my captain tour and do plenty of fishing, and then head to Harv's Island to check the new inventory. It is literally a festive season miracle because Red has a new piece of art that is actually genuine. And finally, day 358, it's getting pretty chilly these days. My house is renovated, and that means we have completed the Nook Mile category of Remarkable Remodeler. I learn my holiday DIY of the day and make my first visit to Blathers in a while to finally hand over a new work of art for the museum. I catch my daily fish and finally commit to digging up the last of my beach flowers and relocating them. I definitely had bigger plans for flowers overall on this island, but those dreams will probably just have to wait until after the challenge, when I start playing in real-time forever mode. I also tackle the current dailies of shaking decorated trees for ornaments and giving Chevra her daily gift. I've got enough materials now to start crafting some winter recipes, and it's time to update our plaza area with some seasonal touches. I get stopped by Plucky and invited to hang out at her place. The beach vibes are a nice reprieve from the snow. And this successfully gets us the 4th stamp milestone for Smile Isle. As wintry as the weather might be, I still need to get in more group stretching for the achievement. And then it's off on a boat tour to try for a summer island. This bamboo island is kinda cool, but it's not the one we need. So, we catch fish. Day 359 is another snowy winter day. Chevra gets a gift, I shake trees for ornaments, Bo teaches us a holiday DIY, and we catch some fish. There's also some cool winter solstice seasonal items available now from Nook Shopping. I craft my newest recipes and steadily keep adding more decoration to the plaza. I also get a visit from Gulliver, who I still need to help a total of 30 times to get the golden shovel DIY. Still no Summer Island from Captain, but I do learn a new cooking recipe. I also pop by Harv's just in case Red has more new art, but I couldn't expect that amount of luck. Day 360, I stumble across a whole mess of drama. Kyle's gotten into a prank war with his situationship Olive, and knowing Olive, she does not have the energy for that kind of nonsense, so I'm not surprised he made her angry. She doesn't want to play your games, Kyle. I deliver the apology gift and she seems pretty quick to forgive him. Maybe there's hope for these two kids yet. Kyle's even going to write a song about it. Okay. The rest of today is business as usual, shaking the ornament trees, picking up a new DIY and crafting it for the plaza, wearing down another axe and giving a gift to Chevra. Then another boat tour, another new DIY, and another fishing session. Only 100 fish to go. Day 361 is basically rinse and repeat. I find the daily DIYs. I get lucky twice today, plus an extra seasonal recipe from a balloon. I shake the trees and catch a bunch of fish. I give Chevra her daily gift, and not only do I not get her photo, she gives me the soft serve hat. The chocolate one. This is clearly payback for that one time in the rock garden. It's time to refresh my fishing pole stock once again, as well as craft some of the new DIYs. Then I add some more holiday touches to the plaza. Sparrow's looking pretty distressed. Looks like he's lost his training notebook yet again, so I do him a solid and hunt that down for him. Red's visiting today and disappoints me with yet another fake copy of the wistful painting. Still no Summer Island from the boat tour, but at least I get the recipe for glow-in-the-dark star stickers, a very useful DIY. Day 362 brings December week 3 to a close. Olive is finally wearing the dress I sent her ages ago. It looks cute, but a little chilly, and she clearly doesn't want to pose for a picture. The December routine is the same. A gift for Chevra, a new DIY lesson, shaking for ornaments, wearing down the axe, a bit of crafting, a bit of decorating, and a boat tour with Captain. Then I time travel a few hours to sit down for the KK show. Day 363 is the winter solstice, and boy does it feel wintry today. I take care of gifting, getting the DIY, shaking the trees, and catching as many fish as I possibly can. Gruff gives me a hat to match my solstice outfit, and I have to convince Kyle not to move away. Captain's boat tour cruelly brings me to another rare winter island, but I make the most of it and catch as many fish as I can. Today's the day that I finally hit that 4th milestone for angling for perfection. 2,000 fish caught at last. Day 364, I'm ready to take on the day with one of my most stressful goals completely out of the way. I still tackle my winter dailies and get Chevra her gift, but then I have time to putter around with more frivolous endeavors. One thing I've been itching to do is rearrange some of the flowers that are decorating my second tier. All the flowers were kind of put down haphazardly, but now I can indulge in being particular about which colors are next to which, and replace some of the ones that have just grown in from unintentional cloning and breeding. I also find a lost notebook, which Bo tells me belongs to Sparrow, which, I mean, this is just too funny at this point. We've also got a campsite villager today, and it's Cutie Bones. I'm seeing the illuminated items lit up for the first time, and it's got me feeling very excited for Toy Day. The daily boat tour is a much quicker chore at this point because I don't need any critters or resources. I'm just holding out hope that I might eventually get a rare summer island to catch the sweet fish. Day 365 is here at last. The challenge is finally over. Wait, no it isn't. We haven't even made it to Toy Day yet. So, what exactly happened here? Step into my office, won't you? I'm a pretty diligent resident rep, but by no means perfect. There have been several time travel mistakes in this crazy time travel-based challenge. I started the whole thing on the wrong day to begin with, January 10th. I had to time travel back to January 1st and then to the 2nd on day 2. But since I traveled backward, it wasn't as though the game assumed I played extra days. I also skipped January 17th entirely by mistake, but I figured that was canceled out when I also accidentally played July 25th twice. Once I noticed while editing the December footage that the math was not vibing with the calendar, I immediately went back through all my footage and my script. The mistake I made in the script was easy to spot. I jumped from 250 to 260. Well, there you go. Mystery solved. Except, I didn't ever pick up on that script error because day 300 in the script coincided exactly as I expected by lining up with the 300 days active island achievement. So how? So why? I don't know, Carol. I'm not a scientist. I'm just here to play Animal Crossing. I kind of lost my mind trying to figure it out, and I got nothing for you. I most certainly didn't notice during the playthrough itself, so let's just get back to the action. We're still going through December 31st, and we're going to have a good time doing it, darn it. So today, December 23rd, is in fact day 357, or close enough at least. After I take care of my dailies, I head to Nook's Cranny to pick up some wrapping paper to have on hand for my Toy Day gifts. I go through my storage and try to find something cute that will fit the personality of each of the villagers. I do another group stretching session and take my boat tour with Captain. I get yet another rare island, but still not the rare island that I need to get the sweet fish. Day 358 is a special day on Honeycake. It's Toy Day. I have no choice but to cosplay as Jingle. I head straight to the plaza for the festivities and just look at Butch and Chevra dreaming of what might appear under the festive tree. I talk to Jingle to kick off the first quest of this special event, crafting festive paper so that he can wrap all the Toy Day presents. I'm able to craft this right away thanks to all the ornaments I've collected daily, and now I can move on to the next special quest, delivering gifts to all the villagers of Honeycake. This is always a fun little task because the villagers all turn the cuteness level way up and get so excited to get their gifts. If you have a high enough level of friendship with the villagers, they'll give you a bonus gift in return. And on this point, some of these interactions are a little disheartening. I guess I haven't been giving my villagers quite as much attention this last leg of the challenge. So even my oldest friend Sparrow doesn't have a reward for me. Once I give each good little boy and girl their presents from Santa, I return to Jingle for my reward. Then I make my rounds a second time to give each of the villagers the gifts I picked out for them myself. With this gift exchange, I receive tons of Toy Day toys. I put up the Toy Day stockings from Jingle in my house, and then shoot my shot on a cat and boat tour for a summer island. No Toy Day miracle there, alas. Day 359 and the end of the year is just a few days away. After feeling snubbed a few times on Toy Day, I make a point to talk to each of my villagers and give them a little gift today. Then I take on my 50th group stretch session with the community to finally finish that stretch to refresh Nook Milestone achievement. There's still some festive DIY recipes to pick up, and I still want to collect as many ornaments as I can. Beyond that, I just try to knock out whatever Nook Plus tasks are on the docket for the day. Now that most of my major achievements are out of the way, I can make my best effort to try and potentially push for that next Nook Miles milestone from doing these tasks. I also check on the art selection from Red, just in case there's a chance to complete more of the museum, and I get a reading from Katrina to try and get that luck buff for a Captain Island. Good luck, but not the luck I need. I make another run to HHP just in case I can squeeze out any more DIYs, and take my daily boat tour with fingers crossed for a summer island. Nope. I finish the day with a coffee break at the Roost to collect my final reward from Brewster, the Brewstoid. Moving on to day 360. I need to do some DIY projects for Nook Miles, so I craft a golden toilet to add a little more class to the rock garden. After I harvest the rocks and claim my Nook Plus points, I clean up some more of the flowers too. Got to have the island with its best foot forward come the end of the challenge. I spend the rest of my day doing whatever Nook Miles tasks again. Even building a snowboy, something I said I would never do again after knocking out the achievement. There are 5 days remaining and I'm still pretty far away from 1,000 tasks completed. But it's worth a shot. I'm also still trying with no success to get Chevra's photo, but she does ask me to give her a secret greeting. In honor of goat cheese and in parallel to the chips and salsa greeting I gave Bo, she gets to say cheese and crackers. And I try the Captain Boat Tour once again, but no summer island yet. Day 361 is another Saturday, and I'm all in on knocking out as many Nook tasks as I can. This is kind of a fitting way to spend these last few days of the challenge. It really puts the flow and playability of the island to the test. Just living life and seeing how readily each of these little tasks can be taken care of. I've also got another stretch goal I decide to go for today. I still haven't gotten that golden trophy from HHA, and tomorrow is my last chance with the last evaluation of the year. I've dug into the annals of Reddit once again, and I'm going to follow the advice I found to try and get as many points as I possibly can by redecorating my house. I've got specific colored potted ivies on different walls for feng shui points. I've got my fish and bug tournament trophies on display. I've got something hanging on the wall of every single room. I put down some bug models. And I'm adding as many pieces of matching furniture in a set to a room as I can. I end the night with another KK concert and some stretching for the Nook Miles, leaving me after today with 952 out of 1,000. Day 362 is the last Sunday of the challenge, the moment of truth as we check this week's HHA evaluation. Well, I'm about 5,000 points short from that gold trophy. So close, but so far. But of course, we shake it off and get back to doing what we can. Another attempt at Chevra's photo, another attempt to get the sweet fish from a boat tour, And then another day filled with knocking out those Nook Mile tasks. Chopping the wood, catch the snowflakes, go shopping, talk to people, whatever I can manage in an hour. By the end of the day, I'm up to 970. Day 363, I keep on with that 11th hour grind. No photo from Chevra, no Summer Island from Captain. I get another shot at the wistful painting on Red's boat today, but I'm sure you already know how that turns out. I do all that I can with the Nook Miles tasks, ending today at 989. Day 364 is the penultimate day of the challenge, and I know I can get that Nook Miles milestone today, so I get right to work. This milestone was honestly a stretch goal that seemed out of reach just a few days ago, so hitting that 1,000 task completion is a satisfying moment that makes up for some of the other goals that slipped through my fingers. I still take a shot at Chevra's photo and the sweetfish, but no luck again. I end today by doing a final scenic walkthrough of the island, just to get a broad look at how far along the island has come by the end of the challenge. This comfy layout has been gradually chiseled into place over the past 336 4-ish hours. Starting as a snow-covered wilderness and now a familiar and adorable little slice of paradise. Most of the original terraforming remains, but it's definitely been shaped into something that has been comfortably playable and whimsically pleasing to look at throughout the seasons. My favorite thing about the island is that, although it's not perfectly planned or decorated, it definitely feels like mine. I've grown attached to the story of Honeycake, the ups and downs and all the quirks. This is the kind of island I'm excited to have for the 3.0 update. One that I feel connected to and invested in. And now, I can enjoy the new features that 3.0 has to offer as the next chapter in the journey of the island. For me, in 2026, this is exactly the kind of playthrough I needed to create the forever island that I want. Day 365. Yes, for real this time, is the final day of my Year in the Life Forever Island speedrun. There's not much to do today except celebrate the end of the challenge and attend the New Year's countdown. But I do have a few small pieces of business to take care of before the big event. I try once again for Chevra's photo and she does not deliver, but I can live with that. I talked to Tom Nook to pick up my hat for tonight's party, and my light stick from Isabel. It feels appropriate to spend some time on my last day walking through the museum and reflecting on all that I've done and all that I've learned from this challenge. I stated at the outset that my goal was to achieve as much as I possibly could, but stick to my aspirations of balancing the gameplay as much as I can. Throughout the challenge, I could feel myself constructing a metacognitive commentary on how my brain reconciled that balance through every season, every struggle, and every unexpected development. It was an exercise in mindfulness as much as it was in creative storytelling and strategic min-maxing. And ultimately, that's what video games are to me. I love the escapism and simple joys, but I also think of gaming as a space for creative thinking and reflection. Unlike other islands I've built, it's crazy to realize the end isn't the end. I don't have to make sure it's perfect before saving a dream and chucking it into oblivion, then deleting the save data so that I can move on to something new. I've finished the island, but at the same time, I've just begun. There's still plenty of achievements to keep me attached to this island, and plenty of storytelling, adventures, and challenges to come. So, you haven't seen the last of Honeycake at the end of this video. In my aquarium, I stopped by the river exhibit, the place where only one fish is missing. And, you know, it couldn't hurt to try just one more time to find it. I hop on Captain's boat with fingers crossed for a rare island. And, well, it is a rare island. Maybe it's not the 11th hour miracle I was hoping for, but this shooting star island is beautiful and exciting. And I'll take that as a good sign to end this fake year on. I time travel to just before midnight, and change into my party clothes for the New Year's Eve celebration in the plaza. Everyone's here, full of excitement. These are all my dudes, you know? This is not just the end of the challenge, but a necessary event to complete another hidden Nook Mile achievement. And even though it's just a matter of course to end it this way, I'm surprised how emotional it's all making me. So many memories being celebrated in this moment, in this exciting way. It's been an intense but joyful journey to get here, and this last island holiday is really just the icing on the cake. The music, the fireworks, the feels. We did it! A year in the life of Animal Crossing. I opened my Nook Miles app for the bazillionth time to close out another achievement. And now it's time to bask in all that I've accomplished and get hyped for the achievements that are still on the horizon as I return to real-time play. I've caught every critter in the game, and making it to the 4th milestone for each type gives me a great sense of accomplishment, but leaves plenty more work to do. I've learned almost 700 DIY recipes, and there's plenty of crafting and cooking in my future as I explore the 3.0 content. I've completed achievements for breaking tools, splitting rocks, finding fossils and gyroids, growing flowers, trees, shrubs, fruit, and veggies, collecting fish, seashells, and trash, growing and decorating my house. I've helped my villagers 100 times, and I'll continue to do so for a long time. I've done all kinds of shopping and investing, and I've got plenty of Nook Miles tasks to complete as I live life on my forever island. I've popped balloons, wished on stars, built snowboys, helped Gullivar, Pascal, and Wisp. I've gone to concerts, taken boat tours and coffee breaks, made friends and done stretches, celebrated birthdays and holidays and tournaments. I look forward to continuing to be an active island resident and tackling the rest of the achievements, inviting people to visit my island, using the custom design pro features, welcoming more villagers and celebrating more birthdays, attending many more KK shows, finally picking out an island tune, chasing that 10 million profit goal in the turnip market, and finding just 2 more fleas once they're back in season. I've gotten the recipes for the golden watering can, slingshot, fishing pole, and net, and I'm still going to earn the axe and the shovel eventually. I still need to write 10 more postcards. And you know what? Let's just finish that one right now, by giving all of my villagers superlatives to close out the challenge. Bo is the class clown. Sparrow is the MVP. Felicity is best hair. Olive is valedictorian. Kyle is the biggest flirt. Butch is most likely to go on Judge Judy. Plucky is the most outgoing. Pearl is the messiest queen. You know what you did, girl. Gruff is the most likely to be a roadie. And Chevra is most likely to surprise you. I also drop a little message to my future self. I look forward to opening it in 2027. Thank you so much for watching and for being a part of this super fun Animal Crossing adventure with me. If you've made it this far, I would really appreciate it if you could drop a like on the video and help my channel grow. If you have suggestions for other things you'd like to see from me or this island, please let me know in the comments. I've got tons more plans for this island and more chill videos you can put on while you parallel play or dig into your own creative endeavors, as well as some Stardew, Fallout 76, and Baldur's Gate challenges I'd like to explore. So be sure to subscribe if you want to see what's coming next. You can also catch me streaming on Twitch on Mondays and Fridays. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and take it easy.